Yes, y'all. You know what it is. It's them kids and wives and 925s, but we are still married to the games. Episode 306. It's your boy Gabe Patilla with Tim Router, Ed Placencia, and Chris McCracken, of course. And as always, we are talking games and life and games. Thank you guys so much for being here. And again, it is a night show, baby. So that translates into me, Ed, and Tim are all ready to go, and Chris is incredibly tired.
Chris is ready for bed. He's got his little nightcap on, and
Chris was in bed like up to 20 minutes before we jumped on here.
Oh,
that's amazing.
Wow. How long did you sleep?
It was probably only like 40 minutes. Here's the thing. I'm not really a nap person. I can't really do it. Like, you know, you get I have family that's way like uncles and everything and my aunts and a lot of people in my family, quite frankly, can do the whole like, oh, let me take a 15-minute power nap and I'm going to feel great. That doesn't work for me. Yeah, so I was like, I'm going to try. I went in there about 9:30 or no, excuse me, 8. Good Lord, I can't think. 8:30, I think it was. And I was like, okay, no, 7:30. Sorry. Good night. I can't even think. Because I was like, I need to be up by 9 so I can gather up all my, my news stories and stuff and make sure that they're good and ready to go. And I was like, I'm going to try to get like 30 minutes. And I feel like I probably got at least 45. So my alarm goes off and I'm like, oh no, I just want to stay here.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's
like, this is what Gabe feels like in the morning. I was just mad, I was like,
Exactly. Oh my gosh. No,
I mean, normally this is not the case. Normally night shows, are no big deal, but I've just
You was up and at him this morning.
Yeah, this week I've been going into work early a few times, and I was just beat for some crazy reason.
Well, Chris, you kick us off, man. Let us know about it, man. Let us know if you've gotten any time for gaming or you just been tired.
I have gotten a little bit of time for gaming.
Nice.
Heck, I'll just start with that. I'm throwing it for a loop. What up?
Yeah.
On the gaming front,
that's how we roll.
Night show.
On the gaming front, I have been playing just the absolute mess out of H1Z1 on PS4.
Yeah.
I've gotten, I think I'm up to 6 wins.
6 wins?
With
What?
2 of those being in either duos or 5s.
Wow.
Which I will say this, though. The one time that we won at 5s, I really was no help at all because I died at like 61, and then the other 3 made it to the end.
Oh, nice.
So
you
outside
really
of like calling out and saying where people were to help them out, I mean, I totally was in the wrong position early on in the game. I got taken out. They made the smart decision to just leave me because I was a lost cause at that point. So I don't know if I can really count that one, even though I think it's on my little record. But I have had a handful of other wins. I put one of them. I just did the little quick PS4 share thing, and I put it on. I put it on the YouTube channel. It was really intense when I was doing it. I don't know if it comes off that intense when you watch it because I'm not talking or anything. There's no commentary. It's just the video.
It never comes across quite as intense, but having played the game, I know how intense it was. If that makes sense.
And if anything else, out of the few wins that I have had, that one was the most fun. I was like, oh my gosh, I did a bunch of sniping, for me, because I don't really typically do that. And so that was kind of interesting. And then Kale and I got one win in duos.
Better on sniping in H1 than any other game.
Really?
Yeah, so am I. And the main reason for that is because at least to my determination, is because there's no sway to the scope. It just is there.
Right.
And so you still have to line up the shot, especially when it's far away and they're smaller. It still can be difficult, but there's no gun sway to it to impede your ability to be able to do
drop,
that.
I don't feel like is that far.
Yeah, it's pretty low. And there's a tracer round, so you can see like how it dropped. I just need to adjust a little bit.
That's right.
And you're good.
Unless they start running.
Yeah, that's true. And then jumping up in the air, which is the best defense. That's what I do. Man, when somebody starts shooting at me, I am running and jumping. I am doing all of it.
Zigzagging. I look like Chris Tucker in Rush Hour.
Yeah.
When he's trying not to get shot, he's like, ow, ow. And he's just going flailing his arms all over the place.
Serpentine.
So I think it was, I don't know. It was probably Saturday evening or something like that. I was sitting down and I was playing a little bit. No, it was afternoon. That's what it was. Because Stacy had some errands she was running. I was like, I want to play H1Z1 right now, but I just recently got, a win. And I was like, I can take a little break. I'm going to jump back into Detroit finally.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have not played it since...
Me either, since it dropped.
A couple weeks after launch. Yeah, I played a little bit. And I still didn't get that much further. I think I played for I don't even want to say it was an hour. It might have been 45 minutes. It could have been an hour, but I don't feel like I progressed too far. And I don't know what I'm thinking about it so far.
Sure.
My gut tells me, like, look, I want to finish the game, at least see it to the end and just make a final decision kind of thing. And there's definitely story elements. I've played a little bit of each of the different scenarios, which Connor showed back up. You know, I don't know if you guys remember, but in my original, that first scene that you do, which is basically the demo again, he fell off the building again. So I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. Well, he showed back up. So he's doing stuff.
Hey, all right.
I guess that's the way it happens with Android. You just reprogram them, put a new arm on, and you're good.
Yeah. That's what you would
there's
hope.
definitely things about it that are intriguing to me at this point because it's still relatively early on. But there's some things, and I haven't played any other Quantic Dream game. This is the only one that I've ever played.
Oh, okay.
I watched your playthrough, Gabe, of Beyond Two Souls or whatever it was called. I never played Heavy Rain or and I think they had one other game, but I never played any of those.
Is it too slow moving?
I don't know. I don't think necessarily that. My biggest issue with it is that I hate the camera completely. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate the fact that the camera constantly wants to. Well, actually, here's the weird thing. It's not constant because in weird situations, this doesn't apply. It's like it's no longer a thing, and it's odd whenever it shows up. But for the most part, the camera constantly wants to fight you back to the middle of the screen. So if I want to look to the left, like my character's walking down the hallway, and I want to look off to the left, but not like turn him and walk him over there, but just kind of glance over to see because I see a little icon that's like, oh, this is something you might want to pay attention to. I push over, but the minute I let go of the analog stick, it wants to immediately jump back to the middle. And it causes some weird situations where I'm trying to get to a thing to look at something, and it's just hard to get where I need to be in the right spot. And I just find myself fighting the controls a bunch. And that is a big no-no for me in games. It's like if I feel like I'm fighting your control scheme, I'm going to start to lose interest real quick. So luckily for them, the story elements that I have kind of taken to have been strong enough to overcome my annoyance of the camera. But I don't know if it's going to continue on that way. So, I mean, I'm going to jump back in and I am going to play some more. But if the story starts to lag or dip or do anything, I'm a little bit afraid that I may just end up losing interest, which I don't want to. But at the same time, you know, as I've said before, you know, I just play the game I want at any given moment. I'm playing what I want to play. I'm not going to force myself to play something just because I bought it or whatever. You know, I'm not really that concerned about it. So, but I want to play it all the way through. One, it goes with my goal that I have, my New Year's resolution or whatever, where I want to have at least 10 new games or 10 games that are brand new to me in this calendar year done. And I'm a little bit behind on that right now because I'm getting stuck on H1Z1. Even though I think that game counts because it came out this year.
There you go.
But I don't know. So, I mean, I'll have to report back a little bit later on and see whether I'm sticking with it. I mean, I don't feel like I've really heard this complaint from anybody else. So I'm assuming that it wasn't really something that either the rest of you guys that have played it noticed or was really much of a bother, the whole camera thing.
No, I never noticed it.
Yeah, me either. But I'm with you. I've only probably put in 2 to 3 hours, you know.
Did you notice it during the demo, Chris?
I noticed it right away during the demo.
Really?
That's part of what made me like, crap.
The thing I didn't like was that sometimes when you're looking one way, the control it wants you to do is half off the screen. And so I did notice that even in the very first one. And I was like, I can't see what I'm supposed to be doing. And so that was frustrating. But
I've definitely ran into that a few times as well. Now, I do like the discovery aspect, or they're like, oh, I'm piecing together the crime scene and looking for all the pieces. Now, I don't like it in the sense, I think I'm nowhere near the level that Ed is, where I just have this vision, because I haven't watched a playthrough because I didn't want to ruin anything for myself. And just from Ed speaking about it, like he's probably looking up and trying to find every single piece of evidence in the room or whatever like that. Like if I see it, I look at it, great, but I don't really go out of my way to go explore and find things.
Nice.
Like, I'm just like,
I would totally do that.
I see these 3 things; those are lit up in the yeller. All right, I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna do that. Okay, reconstruct, cool. And then at the end, I'll look at my little tree and it'll be like, "You missed 17 things." And I'll be like, "Oh well."
You're like, sounds about right.
Yeah, I don't care.
Right.
Don't care how it'd be different. This is what I got. Which honestly, even if I knew those, I'm not really one of those people that tends to go back. I may look it up on YouTube and try to find something different. But it's weird because even though I may have interest in whatever the alternate way of ending was or alternate way of a scene to go. I feel like the way that I do it is my playthrough, and I don't want to deviate from that because I feel like that's true to how I would do it.
Right, right.
So yeah, so I probably, even if I wasn't having any kind of struggle with the game, I don't think I would be going back and replaying rounds to get a different outcome, because I would just be like, well, that's mine. That's the one that I'm going to go with. But I probably would explore a little bit more if I didn't find it, cumbersome and everything.
Interesting.
So outside of that, I want to jump into Overwatch because I know that the new Wrecking Ball thing dropped yesterday, I believe. I have not had a chance. I was going to jump on tonight. Some people on Discord talked about, hey, let's go play, and then I ended up falling asleep. So I have not played it. I have not played Mr. Hammond yet, but I'm excited to get in there and check him out and see what he's all about. So outside of gaming, last week, Stacy and I went to a Smashing Pumpkins concert.
Yeah,
buddy.
Which was
That's what I'm talking about.
awesome for me personally, because Smashing Pumpkins is one of those bands, like, I used to go to a bunch of concerts, a few of them in middle school because, it was harder to do then because I didn't have my own car. But then in high school, I went to a lot of concerts, especially with one of my really close friends. We went to a lot of festivals, just a lot of different ones. And one of the concerts that bands I never got to see, and I always regretted that I didn't do it, was Smashing Pumpkins. So when they announced a reunion tour of sorts, anyways, they're missing at least one member, I was like, I've got to go. And the tickets, like, luckily for me, were really not that expensive compared to, some other artists at the venue that they were playing. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go check this out. And it was a great show. They did a really good job. It's crazy how good the music part of it. Now, you could definitely tell Billy Corgan, who's the lead singer, like, his voice is not quite to the level it was, back in the day. Mm-hmm. So, like, the ones where he's, like, getting really into it on like, if you listen on the CD or whatever, and he's really, like, screaming it out. Like, he was not screaming it out. But luckily, like, they're a band where their musical styles are kind of all over the place. They'll have a really hard rock song, and then they'll have, like, a little lower ballad and have all these other things. But their playing was on point. Like, they were, how you listen to a CD and you're like, oh, that was probably just the way that they mixed it or whatever. You can't really play it that way live. And they were hitting these songs, playing them the way that you remember hearing them on the, the MP3 or however you listen to them. That's awesome. Days. I was actually really impressed with it. So I'm glad I was able to check that off the old bucket list, if you will. The other thing is, I don't know if you guys remember, but it was probably, I think it was about 2 years ago. I had just kind of, in one of my updates, made an offhand mention that, like, oh yeah, Stacy and I put in a reservation for a Tesla Model 3. Before our vacation, I actually got the email from Tesla that said, hey, your car is ready to configure and order.
Oh, look at you.
So I sat on it when we were on vacation. I just didn't want to mess with anything. And then when I got back, I did, a few more little bits of research and things, which I had been researching forever anyways, because I knew that this was probably coming soon. And so we went ahead and took the plunge, and we configured our car, and we've just been waiting. And I got an email back actually, if you go into, like, the Tesla account, it was like, okay, so your configuration is this, and the estimated time of arrival will be sometime between August and October of 2018, which I was like, okay, cool.
Wow, nice.
I've waited this long, it's no big deal. And then, like, a few days later, I got an email from a Tesla rep that's like, hey, we're ready to start finalizing everything. Gave me the VIN number for the car, all this kinds of stuff.
Wow.
So, and I think it's partly because, like, we didn't go, like, crazy on all the options. Our configuration mostly is the straight down the middle of the line of what they're offering now. They're not offering the base model at the moment.
Did you get the Model 3?
Yes, we were getting the Model 3.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's the one that we had originally reserved. So it's a little bit in limbo, and it's kind of crazy because Tesla operates differently than other car manufacturers. So they don't really have dealerships. They just have, like, a storefront wherever they're located. And you kind of go in the storefront and you can see the car, get a test drive or whatever. But for the most part, even if you go into where to order it in the store, you're just ordering it online through the website. And everything gets shipped out of California. Now, if you were to go buy, like, a Model S today, because they're a little bit more plentiful because they've been making them for so long, you could order one and probably have it in a couple of days or so like that. The Model 3, it's like everyone that's coming off the line is being spoken for, essentially, because it's just now starting to ramp up. Yep. And in Texas in particular, there's a bunch of weird, goofy laws, and they kind of make it harder for Tesla to operate. So, for instance, like, they can't technically sell you the car directly in the state. So the way that it works is I'm technically buying the car online in California, and then once it's funded and like paid, then they can ship the car to me. So at the moment, what I'm doing is I'm waiting on the final contracty paperwork stuff from them that I think we have to sign a few things, and then we've already got loan, like, financing and stuff approved, and then that's got to fund to them fully, and then they can release the car. And he said it'll take, he said this is a big, we overestimate a bit, but he said within 14 days of that happening, your car will have shipped from California to you.
That's amazing.
So
here's a question.
Nice.
If you're paying in full, are you paying California sales tax or do you still pay Texas sales tax?
That's where it gets all kind of funky. And
Yeah,
I don't fully
it seems like that's
understand
a gray area.
That is not the case as I understand it. You're still doing the sales tax and the registration fees and all that kind of stuff for Texas.
For Texas.
So I don't know all the specifics of how they're getting around it exactly. And it was I've read a lot of different things about like, oh my gosh, like once they call you, you have within 3 days to finalize everything. So like I had all my information ready. I was like, the minute I get a call, but I wasn't expecting it until August. So when I got the email, I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta go make a call.
Yeah.
I'm over here like, cause I hadn't, another thing that they told me, they're like, don't secure financing until we contact you. Because
that's good.
Because typically when you go places like the quote or whatever is only good for like 30 days or 60 days or maybe 90 days maximum. And they're like, we don't want you to do it, and then we don't even contact you. So it's like, all right. So then I was in a mad rush to get it all going. So at the moment, we're still waiting on the final contract paperwork stuff. So just have to wait and see when that happens. I was expecting it to come in yesterday or today, and it didn't. I emailed my rep again today, and he's like, unfortunately, I'm still waiting on this from our contracts team. He's like, I will send it to you the minute that I get it. I was like,
that's
all right,
awesome.
Cool.
Nice, man.
Yeah,
that's great.
Congratulations.
Dude.
Yeah, we're excited because, we've actually, the cars that we have are the same cars we had when we got engaged, and they've both been paid off, and they've been great cars, but they're both getting to the end of their life, especially Stacy's.
Yeah.
Yeah, which by the way, we put it in the shop and got a few things fixed on it. It seems to be running better now, but I'm still kind of like, you're on your way out, aren't you?
You're like, oh, you need gas to run. That's so
that's right.
2017.
We're gonna take you around back behind the barn in just a little bit, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just have to see what happened. And then the one last little thing is that this past Monday was Stacy and I's 8th wedding anniversary.
Hey, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
Happy
We didn't
happy
get each other
anniversary.
anything because we're buying a car.
I know that's right.
There you go.
I'm not mad at that.
Or you could say that's what we're getting each other.
Yeah, you're getting each
There
other.
you
a
go.
However
Tesla.
you want to look at it.
I like that.
Yeah. And
Have a
that's-
Model 3 on your anniversary.
That's
Yeah. Well,
pretty
my anniversary is in
much-
September if you want to hook a brother up. I'm just kidding. It's in August.
That's right.
Great.
No, it's in September.
We'll go ahead.
It's in September.
We'll go ahead and put in something, and you can wait 2 years, and maybe you'll get something.
Okay, sweet.
Hey,
It'll be the
yeah.
gift that keeps on giving.
There you
There
go.
It's like buying somebody a plant.
Exactly. Just make sure you water it once a week.
Yep, just water. Just a little water. That's all you need.
Oh, my God.
But that's it for me, fellas.
There you go. Router.
Oh, Piper's topic of the week is a good one this week. It's Shark Week.
Yeah.
With Mr. Ed. With Mr. Ed.
Nice.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. According to Piper,
He
it
said,
is
"Not at my
because she
house,
knows.
it's not."
Because
Right.
I told her, I said, babe, Mr. Ed does not like sharks. She's like, really? Can that be my topic of the week? I'm like, yep, Shark Week with
Sure.
Mr. Ed it is. There you have it. So we've been watching Discovery Shark Week this week. It's always so much fun. I'm kind of glad we went to the beach the week before, which is always good.
I know that's right.
Right?
But yeah, it's been fun. She is in camp this week at Deer Run, which is just an amazing camp. And she's having a great time. It's one of those outdoor camps, and then the older kids, it's a sleepaway camp as well. But they've got zip lines, and there's a lake that you swim in, and they're doing all these amazing activities. And she's just coming home, A, exhausted, which is awesome,
Amen.
and B, just really loving it. Like, can't wait to go to the next day. So she's in camp this week, then she's off next week, and then the following week, man, she's going to be a first grader. So 2 weeks from Friday is school starts here, and it's crazy. I can't believe it's already here.
That is nuts.
Wow.
That is. Wow, that's
so
fast.
The summer
it's a little
flew
crazy.
by. Like it felt long, but at the same time flew by. pretty quick.
Right. I'm like, oh, it was mid-May that we were out, and then I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess it's time to start school again, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy. Let's see. This week, we're kind of a little unorganized in the house because the builders that built our house are retiling our master bathroom this week.
Ugh.
What
wow.
That
it's
basket
awful.
weaving
So we had
thing?
to, yeah, right. We basically had to pick up everything, and we're sleeping upstairs right now because there's it's just
Dust
it's all
and-
part of all the dust, and the guys are coming in at like 9:30 and they're leaving at 4. So I'm just basically staying here and working while they do that. But what had happened is before we closed on the house and they were installing the shower door, the glass shower door, the glass shattered and basically sliced and diced a lot of the tile in the shower and on the floor. And they came in to replace it a couple months later, but it's not the same tile. So you have like all these really blotchy areas. So they basically we had talked about this. This was on our like to-do list during closing anyway. And I mean, they're good. They're honoring it. They're like, look, we're just going to retile everything. So they did all the demo today and they're going to lay all the tile tomorrow. And, you know, it's just one of those, I hate it. I'm just like, can we just leave it so we can just go on with our normal lives? And I don't have to have a bunch of people in my house and dust everywhere. And it's just nuts. But it's happening. It'll be nice when it's done. But we've moved upstairs, which is great because that gives us a reason for Piper to sleep in her own bed, which she's doing this week, which is great. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, man, just working and just getting ready for school for Piper and making sure everything's lined up there. On the gaming front, I finished the Far Cry 5 campaign.
Hey, oh, nice! There you
go. I can understand why, Ed, you didn't like the ending, but at the same time, it's Far Cry, so I'm kind of used to interesting and or weird endings. I will say there are two different endings. I went back, I did one of them, and then I went and watched the other one on YouTube, and I think I liked the other one that I didn't do, but at the same time, when it ended, I was like, yeah, okay, that's pretty much typical Far Cry. Let's get back to trying to platinum this thing. And that's pretty much my attitude about it was, okay, great. Story's done. Let's go and get everything else that needs to be done. So I'm still shooting for that platinum. I am now in Far Cry arcade mode. So now it's multiplayer and co-op. So this weekend, if you see me on PSN, hook me up and hit me up and we can go do some co-op together. And multiplayer. I went and did a little bit of it. I had a little time earlier today to do it. And right off the bat, some 12-year-old's like yelling at some 38-year-old about something. I'm like, all right, mute you. I hate multiplayer. Can we get this over with? It's just one of those. I can't stand that. It just kills the game for you.
Look, here's what you need to do because obviously you're a big noob.
Yeah.
You just go on a PSN, you create a party, and you're done. You never have to hear game chat anytime ever. And then if you're going to play with somebody, you invite them to the party and you're good. Like I literally can't remember the last time this generation that I was in a party and heard or excuse me, was in like game chat. I don't even know when it has happened.
Yeah, it's been a long time, boy.
Yeah, I am. You're right. I'm just such a noob to this. And I was just like, ugh, this is ridiculous. And I just kept quiet. I muted my mic. I muted everybody else and just kind of did my thing and got killed a gazillion times. Like, this is exactly why I hate multiplayer. But there's a couple trophies that I have to hunt. So I'm going to hit that. But that's a great idea. Just create a party and then any of our community wants to jump in, man, let's do it. And that would be a lot of fun.
And you'd probably be a bit better off coordinating more specifically on with different people, like rather than just hoping that randomly somebody will see you online.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's a few of them you're going to need another person. I guess you could, I think you can technically get through all of them without any other outside help except for the co-op one. I don't remember exactly, but
there's one or two trophies that require co-op. The other ones are like you have to kill 100 enemies and multiplayer.
I would just throw it out either on Discord or Twitter or whatever. Specifically, if you're like, hey, I'm going to be on from this time to this time. If anybody's available, you'll probably have a little bit better luck.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I know, like, I wanted to just knock those out and get them done because I did not care. I did not care for the multiplayer personally in Far Cry.
I'm not liking it either. I'm just kind of like, all right, let's just do this. So. On the other side, though, the campaign side, I freaking loved that game. I mean, it was fantastic. Did all the side missions, did everything that needed to be done, and basically opened up the whole map, and absolutely loved it. And it was great. So yeah, I mean, it's Far Cry, man. It's what I'm used to, and the ending was exactly what I was expecting. I felt like this ending was not as bad. I felt like 3 was weirder. 4 was weird. 4 was kind of predictable, and it was probably the tamer of all of them. And then this one is pretty. It's a little over the top, but I kind of dug it. The more I thought about it, and then when I went and saw the other one, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool too. Like, good on you, Ubisoft. That was pretty cool. But again, it's Far Cry, and you just kind of expect a little bit of weirdness as you go through it. So I should be done with the platinum by next week, and then I don't know what I'm gonna play. So I gotta look through my little backlog and see what I've got. But yeah, man, Far Cry was definitely my summer game. That is faux show.
There you go.
Nice.
That's it for me. I'm pretty boring this week.
That's all right. Edward,
Yes, word.
what's going on with you? Still twitching.
Still twitching.
I love it.
Oh, you and that Jackbox on Friday, I could have killed you.
Oh, that was so much fun.
It
That
was
game
So
and
much fun.
Tim both in there playing Jackbox.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
amazing. I loved it, and I'm like, I've got to get work done. No, I can do one more. I can do one
It
more.
was nice because when I jumped in there, Ed didn't know it was me, and so it was really fun being able to play incognito like that. Because what happened was I saw that you were playing, and so I put it on the new TV we got. Has apps and stuff like that, and so I could watch Twitch just right there on the screen in our living room. So and since the kids know you anyway, I just put it on the TV downstairs, and so I was able to. I would just play the log down there, but then I couldn't chat. You know what I'm saying? Because it was on my TV,
Right.
And so I just played from there. It was cool.
Yeah, that was a ton of fun. And yeah, when I realized it was you, and even when Router hopped in, it was a game where it only entered the first 3 letters of your name.
Yeah, wasn't that weird?
I saw RAU, and in my head I was like, "Oh, that's funny. That's like Router," and didn't even expect it to actually be you. It was so fun.
Yeah, I later changed it to Tim.
Yes. Yeah, that was
that was fun, man. Thanks for hosting that. That was a good time.
Yeah, that was a great afternoon, and it was a lot of fun. Friday evening, Sarah asked if it was okay if she went over to her friends to have a slumber party, and I said, "Of course it is, because Overwatch League is on tonight."
That's awesome.
Yeah,
and so it was super cool just because I got the game fired up and I ordered my pizza and I sat down, and she and her friend actually stopped over at the house, and she was like, "Oh, hey, she wants to try the VR." And
really?
I was so happy just to introduce someone new to it. I had it pulled up on the laptop, so I had that muted and was watching it, and introduced her friend to VR, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I got to bring my husband over. He's going to freak out over this." And it was just, again, it's just so cool seeing someone experience it for the first time. So that was really nice. I really enjoyed that. And then, I got to watch Philly, and it's London and Philly in the finals. It's been decided, and I couldn't be happier just because Jared and Kaboski, who I play Overwatch with all the time, they're big Philly fans.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just cool because either way, even if London doesn't win, I'll be happy for them that Philly does win. So
wait, who else in the fight? Is London and Philly?
London and Philly,
When's the final?
Starts on Friday.
Tomorrow, right?
On ESPN,
sorry.
baby.
I keep thinking it's Thursday.
Right?
Oh, is that this weekend where they do that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Sweet. I will watch that.
So it's just been really cool. And kind of like we speculated last week, they've been playing a lot of here's what this map means. Here's what they're trying to do on this map.
Good
type thing.
I don't remember them doing that before.
Yeah, it's something they've introduced, and Jared said they did that a couple times in the very beginning of the season, but they're definitely doing it a lot more now. This last week, so that's been really cool to see. Just kind of giving people a primer, and jumped in yesterday when they dropped the new Hammond character, Wrecking Ball, and tanks have always been my weak spot. I can play a couple of tanks, but I'm not really comfortable if there's a tank slot open and I have to fill it.
Mm.
But with Wrecking Ball, I think I'm getting the hang of this guy.
Really? Nice. Oh, that's great, man. Is he just a beast?
It's just crazy. And I don't have him nearly down like some people do, but I feel like as far as tanks go, I'm grasping him the quickest so far.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, that's been fun. At the same time, they tweaked Sombra. There are Sombras in every game all over the place now. And it's just craziness. And so with a new character and with a new tweak on Sombra like that, it's just been a different game altogether, in the best possible way. It's been so much fun.
Good.
I'm happy.
That's so
happy
awesome.
to. Yeah, I was really excited to finally get a chance to to play, and it looked so complicated to watch. I didn't know if I'd be able to grasp him like I could, and so it's just been a little bit of a shoo. All right, I think
and swinging around and everything is pretty simple. And
in theory, executing it isn't nearly as simple.
Oh,
as,
okay.
Like in your head, you're like, I'm going to swing on this and then slam down, and in theory, it's like you attach it and you maybe get like 1 foot in the air, and it's kind of like brink. It's like, not nearly as powerful. But yeah, it's a lot of fun even just to try to get it. I finished the Far Cry 5 Lost on Mars DLC.
Oh, nice.
And was super happy to finish it. I didn't actually complete it 100%. When I saw that I could finish it, I was like, I'm just running for that door. Yeah, I'm going to try to finish it. And it was a ton of fun. After I finished it, I realized that was kind of repetitive, but when I was in the midst of it, that it didn't strike me just because the writing and the voice acting is so funny.
Oh, good.
So yeah.
Well, you have Herc and Nick, right?
Herc and Nick, yes.
Oh,
yes.
that's just the recipe for fun.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
So much fun. Yeah. Sarah and I still kind of going to town on Lego The Incredibles. And I picked up Splinter Cell Conviction, which is one of the games with gold on Xbox.
Yeah.
Splinter Cell game I never played and enjoyed it. I mean, it's a Splinter Cell game, but I had also started playing Prominence Poker.
I cannot believe you.
Nice.
And the worst person in the world.
I played a little bit of Splinter Cell and was like, I kind of want to go back and play more poker.
Yeah, so there was just like Twitch. Ed Placencia is playing Prominence Poker again. I was like, no.
Yes. And as a matter of fact,
awesome.
Yesterday I was glad to say that it was Ed Placencia and Gabe Patillo
I'm
playing
so mad at you.
Poker.
I was like, I'm downloading
he got
it.
You, didn't
Shut
he?
up. I'm downloading
Well, he
it.
got you.
And what it is we found a way that we can just have our own private tournament. And so it was just head to head, me and Gabe. You can voice chat with each other on it.
Yeah.
And it just brought me back to the days when Gabe and I used to have poker nights in
do that
person.
in real life. Yeah.
Yeah. And so,
man, we need to bring that back. I'm jonesing for a good poker night.
Oh man,
we need to do that.
It's so much fun.
I don't know anything about poker.
It's awesome.
It's
a great way to learn then. It's because it's not real money.
Yeah.
And it's a free game.
And nobody's taking it serious in there.
Exactly. So kind of picked up that. And
who supplies the cigars and the whiskey?
That's there too.
Yep.
Jared Orr in the community has been on my case the last few weeks to play a game called Pyre, Pyre.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
And I don't remember how he described it to me, but I do remember that he used the word basketball in his description.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jared, if you're trying to get me to play a game, you don't want to compare it to basketball.
It's very true.
And I picked it up today, and it's fun. I like it.
It is?
Yeah.
Is it like basketball?
There is a section, like at the end of each little chapter, you have to play like this tournament that is very similar to basketball. Just you're trying to get this orb from one end to the other. So it's like basketball or soccer or any game where you're trying to get the ball in someone else's goal. At first, the first time you play the little game, they kind of over-explain it. And because they're using new terms, I don't know. It's like, if you have the orb in your realm, you must get it in the pyre of the... And I'm like, just tell me what I need to do.
Exactly. I know that's right.
So at first I was like, oh man, if it's these little basketball things, I don't know if I'm going to like this game. But then by the second one, when I kind of finally picked up what it wanted me to do, I was actually really having a good time and really enjoying it and really getting into it. So Jared, thank you for that recommendation.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, I will definitely be picking it up again and jumping in. And also today,
oh man!
By the way, Sarah left for Florida this morning.
I was about to say,
there it is. There it is.
So I got up. We got up at 4:00 this morning so I could take her to the airport, and I came home and slept for a little bit. But then after I played that, while I was playing that, I downloaded No Man's Sky.
Oh my gosh, really?
You bought it?
Yeah, like I bought it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you buy it on PSN? I heard they was on sale recently.
Yeah, it's on sale at PSN. I think it's 20. It's either 26 or 28. I think it's 28. But if you've got the PS Plus, it's 26.
I will say this from just a little bit, just the screenshots alone have kind of been like, maybe I should check this out. You tell me whether that's a good idea or not.
I'm still like, nah.
Well, and because on Xbox, it's definitely not that low of a price.
No, it just came out this week on Xbox too.
Okay, and the price that I paid, the 26, 28, I think that's where it probably should always be. But
gotcha.
It is a time suck. And Arc
Really?
Warlocks even said that in Discord. He's like, this game is a time suck. And I'm like, I'll try it out. And 4.5 hours later.
No way, you too?
I'm like, oh, wow, I think. And it's a lot of mining and looking and digging.
Yeah, exploring.
Exploring and stuff. And at first I was like, oh, man, if that's all this game is. And then 4.5 hours later, I'm like, that's all this game is.
Oh, really?
Oh, my God.
So it's not like 4.5 hours of like, yes, it's mining and stuff, but it was really fun. It's like, it's just mining and stuff, and I didn't have fun.
No, it's mining and stuff, and it was really fun.
Oh, it was really fun.
Yeah, because
yeah,
I'm really enjoying it. Now, I didn't play the first iteration. I have nothing to compare it to. Yeah. So I went in with expectations of, hey, this is a game everybody wanted to play and hated. So I kind of went in with pretty low expectations.
Yes.
And I'm really enjoying it.
No, there you go.
At the same time, though, I would really, if you're on the fence, I would grab it now because I would still enjoy it if I paid the full price, but I'm definitely enjoying it more paying the
knowing
much
that you didn't
price.
pay.
I know that's right.
Doggone it. Am I going to end up getting this freaking game?
I don't know, dude. I mean, we already miss you on Overwatch as it is.
Yeah. I'm coming back, man. Hammond is there. He's drawing me back in, and the Sambra changes.
Right? So yeah, that's been
changes.
That's been the week. A lot of games, a lot of some new games that I'm really enjoying. So it's been good.
Hey, I thought you were going to Florida with Sarah.
I am. She went down. The Zumba convention in Orlando starts tomorrow.
Okay.
And then after the convention is over, I'll fly down on Sunday and we'll go to Jacksonville to visit her brother together.
For the week, right?
Yeah. So that way I'm not just
that's awesome.
in a hotel while she's at Zumba all day and night. So
you're at least having fun now.
Exactly. And the Overwatch tournament is this weekend.
It'd be just fine.
It couldn't have been better timing for you, brother. It really
exactly.
couldn't have been. Bye, Sarah. I'll see you unshaven, unshowered on Sunday. Oh, that's so great.
I love that.
Yeah. What about you, Gabe?
All right, Mr. Patillo. Hit it up.
Made our way back from golf camp. That was fine.
Did you ever get internet?
No. You know what's funny?
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry. The last night we got internet.
Of course. Of course. It never fails.
The last night we got internet enough to stream. Some of the guys hadn't seen the newest Dave Chappelle stand-ups on Netflix. And so we just
I still need to
watched
watch that
those
too.
and just died laughing and stayed up and watched that. And that
Very nice.
That was it. So that was as much internet as we got. But I did, golly, I tell you what, man. I'm an old man. Like, it's just, go ahead and check it off. Like, from here on out, I'm old. Because I have been trying to play H1Z1. I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn. HZD.
Yeah.
And that thing is, it was so tough for me to jump back into that thing. I was like, what am I supposed to be doing? Like,
control-wise?
Just everything-wise. Like, just because I remember not loving the controls when I first played it. And then so then when you take a however many month hiatus, and I think I've beaten 6 games since the last time I played that game. The last time I played it was when I was in the middle of playing Zelda or something like that. Like, it's been
I think you're right.
Ever since I've played Horizon Zero Dawn. And so
you're not the only one, brother, because when I went back for Frozen Wilds, I had to be like, wait, what's going on? Like, you forget it.
But take Frozen Wilds and then just stick yourself in the middle of a mission. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, right.
Like, I don't know what
You're like,
any of the icons mean. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not remembering how I'm supposed to be learning how to be able to hijack robots. And like, I don't remember why I care even or anything like that. So I'm kind of like, as I'm going forward, I'm learning backwards in the sense of like, okay, what was the story before this? I remember like the proving, and that was it. Like, that's all I remembered. I don't remember like a dad or a mom, or they're like, why does this woman look like me? I was like, oh yeah, was there a woman that looked like her? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really few and far between the memories. And so I've been just like, but I'm kind of like, I'm being really, I don't know what the word is, but like, I'm digging my heels in and I'm not giving up just because of that.
I was going to say, stick with it, man. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, too many people that I appreciate and
value their opinion.
Trust their opinions. Like, have said that they love this game, including you guys. And so I'm like, well, I can't just quit because I'm frustrated. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I have found for me, because on the whole, like, okay, I'm getting old. Like, I've definitely found that if a game comes out and I have any remote interest, I really need to get in. Number one, when it's the new hotness, because I'm gonna, if I wait till later and try to be like, oh, I'm gonna wait till it goes on sale, I'm probably gonna lose interest. And number two, if it's between a couple games and one of them is story heavy and one of them is not, I really need to do the story heavy one and just see it through.
I know.
So like in that situation, which I understand,
man.
I understand why you did what you did, but in that way, like in hindsight kind of thing, it's like, man, you probably should have just played through Horizon before jumping to Zelda, because let's just be honest, Zelda doesn't really have a story and you can pick it up anytime, and I feel like you'd kind of be okay.
What's crazy about Zelda was I started Zelda on a Horizon break. Like, I had like started Horizon, and then like, I forget what it was, like, one day I was like,
you're on the road,
I was on the bus.
You were on the road.
Yeah, I remember sitting on the bus and being like, oh, I should play Horizon. And I don't remember why I didn't. And I was like, I'll just start Zelda because I have it. And then, finished out Zelda all the way. But it's one of those things, like, I don't know if it's that I'm old or that games are just way more difficult these days. Like, is there just so many button combinations compared to like 10 years ago? You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's not necessarily as difficult as much as you just need to remember the schematics of it.
Yes.
And then once you're in. But dude, don't worry about it. I'm right there with you on a lot of games that like, and I've made that mistake too, where like, especially when it comes to these longer adventure games, like you just got to keep going with that, because if you swap and then come back, you're going to find yourself really confused. But it does get better, and I'm telling you, you're going to love this game once you really get into the thick of it.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
I feel like you already kind of made your decision, but could you tell when you did jump back in and we're on the struggle bus, that initial part, were you like, man, I feel like I'm too far to just start over?
Yeah, I was definitely like, oh, look, all this map over here is cleared out.
Gotcha.
I don't want to go back through all that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
And so I don't know exactly how many hours I was in. I would guess 5 to 7. And so I was like, I don't want to. And I remembered like glimpses enough to where I was like, okay, I think there was a father figure. Don't know what happened to him. There was like a Hunger Games-esque proving that got attacked. Don't really remember what happened. And so like, but awesome. I just remember that there was like big story elements, and I made it to some city, and I'm going out beyond like the thing. Sure.
You got it.
And so I just didn't, I hated not caring more than I hated not remembering the controls.
I don't know, man. To be honest, I'm sure you're going to get to a point where you're like, okay, I know enough of the current status that I can at least follow this, but it might end up, I don't know if it's going to end up working for you trying to piece everything back together. Yeah, I mean, I know you're not going to go do it, but I'm just saying you might ultimately benefit yourself better because you're so story focused player, and I know that to just start it over. Because like if I would have gone in and there is a timer on there, I just don't remember where to get it. But if I saw that I'm only 5 hours in, or if you would have told me that, let's say you started yesterday, I would have told you, dude, just start it over.
Really?
Because I don't, 5 to 7 hours, which I don't know what number you're at currently, but 5 to 7 hours in is really not much. Because I platinumed it, but I put in 60 hours. So
me too.
5 to 7 is really nothing.
I actually respectfully disagree, because I think as you go through the actual gameplay and what you get to do, and once you get to control and do things with the mechs, like, you're going to have a lot more fun with it, and the story is going to be kind of a side note, because that's kind of what happened to me. Like, I can't really tell you the story very much. I just remember having so much fun and being able to blow machine guns off of mechs and then use those against them. It was just so much fun to be able to do that kind of stuff. So I had more fun with the gameplay than I did the actual story.
But considering how much Gabe is into story stuff,
I know,
and the fact that
he's also actually a really good
story, I feel like he would. And I agree. I totally think he can come away from it just enjoying the gameplay. I do think he could get to that point. But I mean, knowing that Gabe's very much a story lover guy, I mean, I would hate for you to get even a quarter of the way through or 2/3 through and still be like, dang it, I feel like there was some part at the beginning that I'm not remembering. I mean, I guess at the very least, you have my Let's Play on there. You could maybe dig that around. And I named everything based on the quests and things, so maybe you could catch yourself up that way and not actually have to go back and play
That'd be nice too. Yeah, because I feel like I've got a very loose grasp on what's going on. I just don't care. That's the only thing that sucks. No, not because the game's bad, but just when you just jump in after a year and a half, you're not going to care. You know what I'm saying? And so,
because you don't remember. So you're like, why am I doing this?
I'm trying to get to caring. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing side quests to try to help people, and all right, let me have a heart for this guy who thinks his sister's dead. Let's go track these people down real quick.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there you go.
And so
you'll get there.
Yeah, and so I'm doing all that. So it's a little bit on the struggle bus, only because it's really not under my fingers yet. Mainly because, freaking Call of Duty and H1 and stuff, like, it's just so different.
Overwatch.
Yeah, and so the duck is not where I think it should be. The dodge isn't where I think it should be, especially coming off of God of War and and all these things. And then the interact button isn't where I think it should be. And hold it down to do this, and
it's very much a similar situation both with Horizon and God of War, where I was like, at the beginning, I'm like, man, these controls just don't feel exactly right, but then when you just stick with it, it becomes natural and starts to feel right, and you're like, okay. And then I was able to and I feel like I picked it up quicker on Horizon than I did on God of War, but both of them were the same situation where once it got there and it felt second nature, I was good, but I had to just stick with that game, which fortunately for me, by the time I got to that point, I wanted to stick with it because I was so intrigued. Yeah. So it kind of just worked out that way.
And that's the light that I'm hoping is sparked again soon.
It will, man.
You know what I'm saying?
With this game, it will. I think it will.
I don't know. I don't know how spoilery we can get with it being a year and a half old. But I've just met the guy from The Wire, if that rings any bells, or the guy from Destiny,
right?
The black guy. You know what I'm saying? The guy whose voice is undeniably him.
Yeah, Zavala.
Yeah,
gotcha.
You're early. You're still early, man.
I think his name's
you're pretty early.
Or Cyrus. I don't know. I remember it sounding weirdly like Silence.
Yeah. I think it's Cyrus or something.
Keep going. That's all I can say. Keep going.
Yeah,
I think
I just met him and saw Elizabeth, Dr. whoever.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know.
Sobek.
Yeah, there you go. So trying to care about Horizon Zero Dawn. Going out on the road this week. We had this week off, which was kind of fun. Got a furniture ordered for the shed, so hopefully by the middle to end of August, I'll be in the shed doing the podcast from in the shed. But the next 2 weeks are a little weird. I remember asking you guys hey, I might need to do a Tuesday morning next week.
Yeah, man.
And then I think I have to do a Tuesday morning the week after that. And so it's we have these weird Wednesday shows, so I don't know what's going on with that. But this weekend we're going up to Portland, Oregon, and doing a show, and then flying to Springfield, Missouri, and doing a show the same day we're leaving. So, so we're flying out there, and then coming home for a day and a half, then out to Kingdom Bound and Soul Fest up in New Hampshire. Then have a day off
all over the place.
Yeah,
wow,
good Lord, man!
Day
it's
off
festival season, I guess.
I know. Day off in New York, and play Six Flags New Jersey, then over to Ohio, then home, then New Mexico. It's gonna be a crazy couple of weeks. But then after that, it slows on down. In August.
No fall tour this year?
Yes, but not till November.
Ooh, nice.
So that's nice. So we're just doing a quick tour in November, kind of a stories and songs thing, like a broke down situation.
Very cool.
And then obviously in like January, February, end of January and February, we'll be back at it again, baby. Hits deep. And the new album's coming out, like I've talked about soon. So he had a new single drop called Everything, which is really fun.
Yeah,
great song, man.
It's a good song.
Yeah, it's a fun one. So anyway, that's it for me.
Nice, man.
That's perfect.
Router.
Yes.
You got it?
Yes.
Then let's do it!
All right, let's get to some new releases. Coming out, releasing July 24th, Mega Man X Collection 1 and Mega Man X Collection 2 for the PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. For the PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch, The Banner Saga 3. For the Xbox One, No Man's Sky, July 24th. The Persistence for PlayStation VR on July 24th. July 24th, PS4, PC, Earhart, and Pixel Game Maker MV for the PC. Also, GTA Online After Hours update for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Train Sim World for the PC, PS4, Xbox One. That's all releasing on the 24th. On the 25th, you got Radiant 1 for the PC, Xbox One, and iOS. On the 26th, Sleep Tight for the PC and Switch. And for the 27th, WarioWare Gold for the 3DS.
We had 3DS getting some love.
That's right. We had no oops this week, and surprisingly, I just checked before we all jumped on, and they haven't released NPD for June yet. So I don't know what's going on. I have a feeling it'll pop up first thing tomorrow. So I really wanted to get the chart stuff because it's toward the end of the month, and we usually get it mid-month, but I don't know what's going on. So we should have NPD for June next week, which I'm very curious to see how the summer is going for gaming.
There you go.
That is it. Back to you guys.
Christopher.
Yes, so we know that the Hammond on Overwatch just dropped recently, as Ed kind of alluded to and played a little bit earlier. He also mentioned how that Sombra had gotten some reworks and that her new stuff is live. And so Blizzard kind of does this with any real multiplayer game, tweaks and nerfs or buffs, kind of just balancing changes typically go back and forth. And it looks like it's possible that Torbjorn's going to be getting some changes here, hopefully at some point.
Oh, Toblerone?
Good old Toblerone.
But I'm not sure. I mean, based on the way that it's worded in this article, I'm not sure that what I really think about it. But Blizzard's Jeff Goodman had kind of confirmed that he does think that the relationship between Torbjorn and his turret will be changing to some extent. He went through and said that in the way that they're currently kind of constructing it at the moment is that they're going to remove his ability or his need, I guess is a better way to put it, to create the turrets. Because right now he puts down a turret and then you have to constantly hit it with a hammer so many times to build it up to a certain level, and then it can kind of live on its own and you don't have to babysit the thing.
Well, you have to hammer it to have it there at all, right? Or is it just to get it from level 1 to 2? If you just throw it down, it will build into the smallest version of the turret that's really pretty weak. If you continue building it, it gets to like stage 2, and then it's much more viable. And then you have to get it to stage 2 in order to use a full alt to have it jump to level 3. And
yes, you do. Faster. However, if you do his ultimate and you haven't even thrown out a turret, when you throw out the turret, you also can hammer it super fast. So it really doesn't matter if you're near it. You can just hammer it like twice or a couple times. It's really quick, and then it's back. It's to stage 2 super fast. Or technically, it's more of like a stage 3 when he's in his ultimate.
But does it go to stage 3 automatically when you've already hit the ult?
If it's already built, it gets more powerful. But if you do your ultimate and then you throw down the turret and start hammering it, it just gets to the stage 3 super fast. Does that make sense?
Stage 2 or stage 3 super fast?
Stage 3. Well, it basically becomes fully built, because when it's fully built and you do your ultimate, it comes with a new shield and it gets stronger just by default. So if you just throw it out after you've already initiated your ultimate, you can build it to that level like really super quick.
Molten core.
Yeah. So anyways, they're basically looking at changing it to where rather than building his turret, he just runs over there and just throws it out and it builds itself. So you don't have to hammer it anymore. And the thought that they're kind of putting behind it is that, a lot of people right now will choose Torbjorn and then it's like, okay, your team has to kind of think like, oh, we're losing one of our teammates for at least a little while he's over here building and constructing his turret.
He just babysits it.
Yeah, which I mean, I kind of makes sense. And one thing that this article doesn't really touch on at all, and that I don't see anywhere, is it doesn't say, because currently, like if his turret starts to take damage, he can go over there and start hitting it to build it back up, basically to repair it. This doesn't address whether or not that aspect will still exist or not. I mean, if he's not having a hammer to beat on it at all, then I'm assuming he won't need a hammer to then repair it either. I don't know. It feels a bit to me like if they go this direction, obviously there'll be tweaks and we'll just have to wait and see. But it almost sounds like, okay, so he's basically turning into a slightly different version of Symmetra, where he just throws out his turret's there. I don't know that I really like that.
What do you think they're trying to fix, Chris?
Well, the way that
sounds like the babysitting of it.
The way that they worded it here is, they're talking about it a bit more. I feel like from the competitive kind of side, and competitive not meaning like Overwatch League, but like more like the competitive tier that you can do over there. They don't like the idea of that, how people kind of have to lose their teammate for a little bit while he's going over there and beating on it and building it up. I feel
That's really funny. I never felt like it was that long.
I didn't either. And honestly, I feel like the bigger issue, at least in the more casual, like quick play, and when we're playing with all of our buddies and stuff, on PSN. And with our community, I feel like the bigger issue is like when you run into another team that's running Torbjorn, it's like they set up and it's a huge hassle to deal with his turret.
Yeah.
And so if he's just throwing it out willy-nilly, I feel like he can set up even faster, and that gives you less time to try to deter him before he gets to the point. Now, maybe it'll be like Symmetra's turret, where the turret has very low health, and you can easily take it out pretty quickly. I don't really know. So. And they also did make mention, while not giving really any specifics at all, that they said that they're aiming to rework Molten Core to where it basically works nothing like it works right now. So what that means exactly, I have no idea. And all of this is just kind of... the gentleman was just talking about it. None of it's confirmed. It's not even like this is actually on the test servers at the moment. They're just messing around and working around with concepts the way he kind of explained it. So all of this information could change, and maybe he keeps his turrets. They just change the way, his hammer does it quicker or slower. We never really know. But at least they're kind of addressing it, because I feel like Torbjorn is really the only character they haven't touched in any kind of major way, I feel like, or one of the few that they haven't really touched in any major way.
Yeah.
So I'd be curious to see what they do with him.
For someone who barely plays Overwatch, all that description of him, like I would never play him because I don't want to sit there and babysit turrets, because what happens when the fight moves and like, can you pick them up and move them around? And
no,
like,
you just build another one and the other one goes away.
When you throw out a new one, the other one disappears or goes away or blows up.
I love that. He was my first love, Toblerone. And
really? Still bad gamers love.
Yeah, and I mean, I
shoot out delicious milk chocolatey treats.
Exactly, but I never felt like I had to babysit the turret either. So I would always place it where I thought was a good spot, run around, shoot some people. If it gets shot, then you go back and you fix it and then leave again. But I never felt like I had to sit there.
I think that's the point of like what they wanted people to do. But a lot of time, especially if you see like Torbjorn plays of the game, it's just a guy hammering on the turret the entire time as the turret does all the work.
Or the turret's just doing all the work and he's off doing somewhere else. You don't ever even see him.
That's true. Yeah, you just see him racking up kills as he's jumping around over in a corner someplace.
Yeah.
So the idea is to get the turret to its maximum level and then walk away from it and let it do its thing, right?
Yeah, it's basically kind of watching your back in a way, or watching a point or whatever while the rest of the team kind of gets set up.
Yeah, If you play it right, you've got basically an extra player on your team.
Sure.
Yeah, put it in a discreet place that's hard for it to hit, and if you come around to shoot at it, then you're going to be getting shot yourself. You know, kind of thing where you have to turn your back to everybody else to kill it. That's the way I played it, but that's interesting. Huh. Well, we'll see what happens with that, because
I'm curious.
I hate that. Sticking with Overwatch, we might as well. Hasbro has partnered up with Blizzard
Yeah.
And they're going to officially be launching Overwatch Nerf guns, which I am so for.
That's really cool. Yeah, when you posted that, I'm like, that looks awesome.
Well, because like whenever a big game comes along, the first thing a lot of people do is the people that can is go and replicate some of the weapons in it. And then it's always so hard because you're always trying to piece it together just from pictures you've seen or 3D images that have been released and stuff like that. And people are recreating it and turning it around and whatever they're working in and trying to get it as close as possible. So it's really fun that Hasbro, the toy maker, is going to be working with Blizzard. Now, these guns aren't coming till next year, which, seems early to be announcing this. I would think you would announce something like this 6 months before they come out, especially since it's a Nerf gun. But it looks like it's due out in 2019. And the first one is with the long Medea presents Nerf Rival Overwatch Reaper White Edition. So it's a long name, but you get one of Reaper's guns. Reaper holds 2 guns though, so you'll probably have to double down on it if you want to really be Reaper for Halloween. But what's fun about this is that they said that they have partnered with Blizzard to make Overwatch Nerf guns, plural. So hopefully, obviously we'll see some Soldier 76, some Tracer guns. You got
to do a Junkrat because he shoots balls to begin with.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Nerf
That's
guns
easy.
Are balls. Yeah, Nerf gun bullets
That's
are balls.
That's an easy one.
Yeah, and so this gun will carry 8 Nerf Rival rounds and include a ready and a safety lock, which I didn't know they added to Nerf guns. And
that's funny. Really? Yeah, so I didn't either.
That'll be great, man. And I think it'll be really, really fun. If Hasbro, with the money they have, they could really have fun with this and be able to cross genres and bringing the game to life. And, Nerf is so safe. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course you can still shoot your eye out, but, I think parents are used to Nerf making guns. And so it's not like it's some violent thing all of a sudden. So I hope it works out good. And I hope the guns come out awesome. And I'm glad they're starting with Reaper. I think that's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool looking gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
Cool looking. Yeah. What else you got, Christopher?
So now we're going to move over to the Fortnite.
Oh.
And Fortnite's latest
Happy
update has made.
Birthday to you.
Oh, did they have is it their birthday?
I think it's their 1 year birthday.
1 year.
This last week, yeah.
Yeah. Time flies when you don't pay attention.
Amen to that.
Time flies when other people are having fun.
Yeah.
So they recently had an update that kind of nerfs or reduces the viability of building in the game. Building forts and other structures becomes kind of a little bit less relevant. It's upsetting a few people because they feel like the one thing that made Fortnite really unique, which you could easily say, is that the fact that you have the whole building aspect, that it might slowly be disappearing. So update 5.10 that was released on July 23rd, it nerfed building materials to make walls, floors, and other structures in game. It basically just reduced the strength of all of them, or the health, if you will. Like the health for stone walls dropped from like 90 to 80, and then wood is from 100 to 80. So it's not a huge jump when you just look at the numbers. However, they also had recently put in a patch where the materials themselves drop less frequently. And it's making it to where a lot of people who play the game kind of built up their skill to be able to stay alive, not so much by engaging in gunfights or escaping gunfights, but just starting to build up, to build up things. And that's how they would survive later, to then put themselves in a position to attack whoever was attacking them. And so with changes like these two that have come in, and this one of late, where it reduces the material's health and everything, and you can get through it, you can get around it a lot quicker. It's kind of, some people are just afraid that, you're removing the one aspect that's very core to the game or that makes it unique. And on the one hand, for me, it makes me a bit more interested in wanting to try it again, because the one thing that I didn't like about the game was the whole building aspect. But I understand, like, look, this is Fortnite's unique shtick, and so I understand. I understand why people would be upset, especially if they continue to bring out updates that just makes it go further and further or become less and less viable, even more so than it already has. So I'm going to be curious to see what ends up happening if they do indeed continue down this road, or if it's just something that they're just testing with stuff. Who knows? Maybe like we kind of talked about with Overwatch a little bit ago, there's nerfs and buffs all the time. So maybe they'll bring it back in, and now there's super mega materials and you can build even faster. Who knows if they'll switch it around. But at the moment, I'm kind of intrigued to see. I honestly didn't think that something like this is something I would ever read. I always thought that the building aspect was going to stay a really core piece of the game. Yeah. And part of the speculation, because Fortnite or Epic's not really saying why they've done what they've done, at least not to this point. Part of the reason is that the speculation, anyways, is that they're trying to make the game a bit more open to casual players, and more specifically, people playing like on mobile, because it's, as I understand it, it's not quite as easy to do the building nearly as quick on it as it is like on a phone, like an Android phone or an iOS. So, I mean, that makes a bit of sense, but at the same time, if it does completely change the core of your game, is that a good idea or is it not? I don't know. I mean, I feel like they've got a pretty winning formula at the moment.
I wish that they just had a version. Like, I don't need them to take out building altogether. But, like, I almost wish they had a version where you could, like, only build stairs. Because that is a big part of it is getting the vantage points and things like that, and getting up hills quicker, or getting up a mountainside. So I don't mind the stairs, but, like, the walls and the ceiling and the floor, and then editing those for windows and doors, and then falling back through, like, hey, I'm fine. Keep all that. But I would love if there was a version that just had that way parsed down so you could still play some Fortnite and it just didn't have the building thing as such the forefront. Yeah,
I had a similar situation with Titanfall when it came out. I ended up playing that game and I found that, man, 90% of my time, I'm talking about the original Titanfall, I just enjoyed being outside of the mech way more. Like, I got to the point where I wouldn't even call my mech in anymore. And I put out online, I was like, man, I'd really like it if they created just a mode where it's just pilots versus pilots and just remove the mechs completely. That's at least just a playlist. And then they ended up bringing that out. And I was like, oh, that seems awesome. So I don't know how difficult something like that would be for Fortnite, but it would be cool, like you said, if there's just, okay, there's the mode with all the building like you've always known and loved. And now here's a mode with less building or just only the stair building or whatever. Like you said, it seems like that wouldn't be something that would be too hard to do. Granted, I'm not a game developer, so I have no real idea.
Well, I think with all the moving around things that they do already, it doesn't seem like it'd be that hard for them.
Yeah, I agree. That would probably be a better way to do it.
Ed, to just speaking of, Ed, can you talk about this story a little bit that you were showing me?
Oh my gosh. I guess in the last update of Fortnite, they put a little tombstone grave marker next to a cliff to kind of commemorate one of the worst Fortnite fails that happened recently. If you get a chance to see this video, and again, I've watched Fortnite be played a couple of times. I know nothing about it, and Sarah and I both watched it and laughed our heads off. This guy approaches the cliff and apparently had just seen a guy driving a golf cart fall off the cliff.
Yep.
And he's like, what's going on here? And he looks over the cliff, and off the cliff, way, way down is a little ledge that a guy had fallen onto.
Yes.
And he was like, oh no, I can't just leave this guy here. So he builds a little stairway going down to like save this guy.
And it's not a little stairway, it's a mammoth stairway.
It's like a huge spiral stairway he ends up building.
All of his materials almost to get down there.
And he gets to this point though where you're just not allowed to build any lower. You've reached like the game's threshold. And he's like, oh, that's why this guy can't build to get up. He's not allowed to build that low. So he said, oh, that's what this other guy was doing. I'll drive the golf cart down my stairway. And then the guy can jump onto the golf cart, bounce onto it, and get onto the ledge that I've made. So he gets in the golf cart, tumbles, and just spirals out of control, hits the guy that he's trying to save, and knocks him into the water.
And kills him.
and kills him.
Oh, no.
He finds out afterwards, he's like, oh, no, now I'm down here. He jumps on the golf cart and jumps onto his ledge. It would have worked. He would have been able to save the guy.
No. And it's so funny because he's like making his way down on the golf cart, kind of like one wheel goes off and he starts to tumble and you're like, okay, this is not so bad. He'll live. He's in the golf cart. I don't know if it looks like there's not fall damage if you're in the golf cart. So he's tumble. His wheels finally catch at the very end, and his back spins out like you would do like a burnout, and the back spins out and hits this guy and punts him into the ocean.
It's so funny.
Like if you would have paid him $10 million, he couldn't have done what he did.
Oh, that's amazing.
And punts this guy, and you just see like such and such has eliminated such and such. You're like, oh man, after all that work.
The guy who's trying to save him, it's just funny. He just sounds like a really nice guy, this really nice British guy. And he's like, oh no, I've killed Bumblebee or whatever the guy's name is.
That's hilarious.
Oh, it was funny.
Oh, so good. So good. Thanks for sharing that, Ed.
Thank you.
Well, sticking on Overwatch, I'm just kidding. But Paladins
PUBG, anyone?
Nathan Fillion.
Paladins is now free on Nintendo Switch. I don't remember if you talked about this last week, Chris. I feel like you brought up Paladins, but I didn't remember what exactly it was. But it is Paladins, which is the everything knockoff nowadays, is now free on the Nintendo Switch. You can go get it on the eShop, or you can buy the Founders Pack for $30. Why you would do that, I have no idea. But it's just funny that Paladins is now over on the Nintendo. We knew it was coming, but it is now available, so you can go ahead and get it if you want to.
There you go.
If you want to scratch that Overwatch itch on your Nintendo Switch.
I mean, it's basically very similar.
Which makes me feel like, come on, Overwatch, just come on over to the Switch, which I know they said wasn't going to happen, but a lot of people say things aren't going to happen, and then they do. You know, like the whole till death do us part thing.
Oh, sure.
Wow.
We could go there if you'd like.
I'm just saying, a lot of people say it.
That's very true.
I don't know why that was the first thing that came to mind.
I don't either.
Well, that went dark real fast.
I know,
didn't it?
the only other thing I had was even darker, but so I didn't want to say that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Chris, what else you got?
So there was a speedrunner whose gamer tag I'm not going to say. We'll just say it's colorful.
Fair enough.
But he completed all 5 titles of Fallout: Fallout 1, 2, 3, Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout 4 in 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 17 seconds.
That doesn't make any sense.
No way.
Now he did utilize like some glitches and some other things like that, which a lot of the speedrunners will do. Yeah, but still, it was completely ridiculous how fast he was able to go through all of these games. And he said basically it comes down to a lot of the ones, like specifically Fallout 1, 2, and 3. Like if you just know where to go, like where the in-game locations are, you can basically just go there really quickly. So
kind of like Zelda.
Yeah, I guess kind of like any of those games that have a bit of a more open style to them, where it's like, okay, the ending's right over there, and technically I can get it. As long as it's not gated, like you have to have so much health to get into my area or something like that.
It's like if I can beat the boss with a BB gun, I'll just go beat him with a BB gun. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, basically. But he did end up using, I guess, one of the nuclear bombs. So I don't know how long it takes to get those, because I never played any of the Fallout games. But he was able to complete Fallout 2 and 3 in around 15 minutes, and in Fallout 1, it only took him 5.
What in the heck? I might have to go watch that.
Yeah, and so the one that took him the longest to complete, as you might expect, was Fallout 4, because it's the biggest one that's come out so far. That one took him 42 minutes and 54 seconds.
Well, and I feel like you have to go through 30 minutes of like just to get the game started in the beginning. It's like a 30-minute intro.
I know. That's what it feels. I didn't even play it either.
I guess
and that's what I
did
feel.
The old skip-a-roo.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm always just completely amazed at these speedrunning people and when they're able to do crazy. And granted, like if you watch a little bit of the clips, like there's these certain areas where like he found a way to where the game will speed up his movement speed to like 160 and some other different things. And granted, some of it looks a little bit crazy,
and
but
he's playing
still,
on PC as well.
Yeah, the fact that he was able to figure these things out and knew all these different routes and just has them memorized. Like if I go around here and jump, hops, and skip, and then bam, I'm at the big Mega Monster Man, and that's always impressive to me. It's really cool. The whole muscle memory and just the pathway memory, especially in these really larger games.
I don't know how anybody figures out any of this stuff.
Yeah, I don't either.
Like even on the simple games, like when I've watched Super Mario World get speed run. And they're like, see, if you get on Yoshi and you go between this bush and you press up 3 times and then jump, then down, then jump, then like now you're behind the whole thing, and now you can just run to Bowser, and you're like, what? How does that work?
Right?
Yeah.
And who took the time to figure that out? That's what blows my mind. It's
or like, who accidentally hit that?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man, Fallout 1 was crazy.
That's that. I've got to watch that because that's insane. All 4 of those in an hour.
It just shows you how far the game has come. Like seeing Fallout 4 and then seeing Fallout 1, you're like, what the freak?
Yeah.
That's
Fallout for the most part has never
minutes.
been a really beautiful game. Fallout 4 is probably the best looking one, but it was like, it was a rough
Fallout
looking game.
1 is just like looks like a point and click. I mean, it looks like Lode Runner almost.
Mm-hmm.
What else is going on right now? Oh, did you guys hear about this thing?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah. I'm just joking. So we had San Diego Comic-Con this last week. I felt like there wasn't so much games stuff coming out of it.
I didn't even track it at all.
Honestly,
I didn't track it at all. Normally, I'm all over that.
And I don't know if it's an every other year thing, because some years I feel like, it's not about video games, but like it is kind of nerd culture. It's kind of, seeped into just being nerd culture all around. And so I thought I'd see a lot more. And I don't know if this is where the whole Xbox talk got, started coming out, but there's a lot of great trailers, number one, that came out of it. They talked about The Walking Dead and how Andrew Lincoln's leaving. And what's crazy about Andrew Lincoln leaving is that the guy that plays Daryl, he said that him and Andrew had a pact, and they were like, hey, when you leave, I leave. And so now Andrew's leaving, but Daryl's like, oh no, I'm staying. Sorry, I'm breaking the pact. So they're both not leaving. But so there's been this Project Scarlett thing running around. They're calling it Microsoft's 2020 streaming Xbox. And so we obviously heard in E3 a lot of people talk about streaming and the future is streaming and stuff like that. And we kind of have our I kind of have my I like it, but I don't know if I like it. Like, am I going to get 60 frames at streaming or am I going to be at 10 frames streaming? And so they're calling it Project Scarlett, and they're saying that that the next Xbox is really going to be aimed at that. And obviously there will be ways to play games off the hardware itself, but that they're really going to be pushing the streaming thing. And they're calling it the Project Scarlett, and they're calling the other thing the Scarlett Cloud. That's what Microsoft is calling it, according to Thurrott.com. And so, we kind of knew it was coming. Scarlett's a fun name. It's not, super exciting or a lot of news, but I think we knew that this is where it was going. So it's kind of nice to know that they're at least getting the groundwork done for it. It's just...
I feel like Comic-Con has kind of shifted it. It's more about the movies and TV shows than it is about the video games now, which is fine because we had E3 the month before. But anybody see the Aquaman or Shazam trailers? Any thoughts?
I did see Shazam. I was actually more impressed with that than I thought I would be.
Yeah, me too.
I did not see the other one.
I was glad they went with it the way they went with it. They're funny. Let's pick on ourselves.
And I love Zachary Levi anyway. I think.
Yeah, what's he from? I couldn't place him. What's he from?
Chuck. Do you remember Chuck?
Oh, Chuck.
Yeah.
I never saw that show.
And he's also Flynn Rider in Tangled, which you probably would know more because of.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, good for him.
But yeah, I enjoyed that. The Aquaman one, I was like, okay, but I do like Jason Momoa. I think he's pretty awesome. So it could be good, but I wasn't blown away by Aquaman. I thought Shazam is a little bit more subtle and funny, and I would probably go see that.
Yeah, I was just glad that DC's doing their thing, and they're not.
Yeah, it's nice to see them step up. Definitely.
They're like, let's do what Marvel's doing. That's what every trailer feels like to me. I mean, doesn't it? I mean, every trailer feels like that. They're like, well, if we don't have Christopher Nolan, we might as well just copy what those guys are doing over there because whatever they're doing is working.
Can't beat them, join them.
Yeah, exactly.
I was reading an article about Aquaman, and they talked about just the CGI effects, and they're like, oh, they ride sharks and they're so photorealistic. And I'm like, I guess I'm not watching this movie.
Yeah, nope. You are out on this one.
I like my Sharknado sharks, the ones that look
That's right.
nice and cut and pasted from clip art.
It's like, I like my sharks dead. Thank you.
Yes.
I like my sharks when they look like dogs.
Or kittens, either one.
I like my sharks when they're in West Side Story.
Hey.
There you go. Jets and sharks.
Jets and sharks. Well played, Ed. Well played.
Boy, crazy boy. Stay cool, boy.
No, you didn't.
Theater kids of the world unite.
That's right. I could sing them all, baby, if I had to. If somebody broke into my house and put a gun to my head and said, "Start singing West Side Story," I'd be like, "Well, give me a little room."
Something's coming.
Yeah, you're about to get impressed. Say it loud and there's music playing.
Of course, that's every theater kid's like top scenario dream if somebody was going to put a gun to your head.
Break into my house and say it's on my family's life over a musical.
Right. Oh, really? I get to sing the whole thing? Okay.
Okay.
Do I have to?
Grab a chair. Let's go.
Boys, 5, 6, 7, 8. Officer Krupke, I'm down on one knee.
Got costume changes and everything.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Do I have to play the white guys and the Puerto Ricans? Oh, fine.
Where's my oh, here it is. I like to be in America.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Oh,
absolutely incredible. Oh.
Chris, do you have anything else to rein this thing in?
No, I do not. I'm
great. Well, now we got to go to Ed. This is not going to help.
Right. Ed, back to you.
Oh, man. Well, over on YouTube, new this week, we've got Far Cry 5 Lost on Mars, parts 3 and 4. That's the ending.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
You can check that out. And then you've also, as Chris mentioned, got Chris's H1Z1 win. You can watch him do his thing.
And that's the one, sans Kale or with Kale?
No, that one's a solo win. Yeah.
Nice.
Look at that. Look at that.
I like it.
Look at it.
Look at it.
Would you look at it?
Look at it. Love it.
Would you just look at it?
Look up here.
Look out. Checking our top 10 YouTube videos combining the average watch time and views for the week of July 18th through July 24th. Coming in at number 10, Hue Part 9, Mountains.
Uh-huh.
Number 9.
Yep.
Hue Part 7, Yellow.
Yep.
Uh-huh. You better not say any title that even resembles a West Side Story song right now. I'm telling you.
Number 8, WatchSide Dogs 2.
WatchSide
Part 6.
Lord.
Bottom dollar complete.
WatchSide Dogs 2. Well played.
My gosh.
Number
well played.
7, Married to the Games, episode 305, duct tape and toilet paper.
Yeah.
Watch Side Dogs.
Number 6, Gabe and Chris react to The West of Us Part 2.
Hey.
Ed, you're killing it, dude.
The West of Us.
The West of Us.
Oh my gosh.
He now has a speech impediment.
I like it.
Number 5.
Ed, night shows from here on out, brother. Night shows from here on out. Ed is just blossoming right now.
Number 5, Hue Part 10, Universe's Story. Number 4,
Lord.
Hue Part 4, Pink.
That's hard to do.
Number 3, Ori and the Blind Forest Part 14, Thornfeld Swamp.
Thornfeld Swamp.
Number 2, Watch Dogs 2 Part 19, Paint Job.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, Hue Part 11.
The
ending.
Oh, man. Good stuff, Edward. Thanks.
That was great, Ed.
There's like 3 episode titles in there.
Easily.
I think it's going to be Watch Side Stories. Watch Side. What was it?
Thanks.
Watch Side Dogs.
Watch Side Dogs.
All right, I got an idea for the pick.
Okay, good. We'll go with that one. Watch Side Dogs. Oh,
Watch Side Dogs.
I like it.
Yes.
Any new reviews?
No new reviews.
That's all right.
Dang it.
We love you guys anyway.
Of course.
You just don't love us back that much. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Well, every week we ask you guys a question. Last week was no different. We asked you guys, what is your favorite video game soundtrack? Starting over at Facebook, because that's what was pulled up. We've got Chris Smith. You're not finding that guy if you're looking for him.
No.
There'll be a lot of Chris Smiths out there. My favorite soundtrack was Burnout 3. All the songs from the game have made their way into my music collection. My favorite game score is for Uncharted 3. It's such a great movie.
Yeah.
I mean, game.
Right.
Had to buy the iTunes album for it, too. He must be in witness protection.
Yeah.
Right.
Chris Smith. Holly J. Gary the Fourth, who is not in witness protection. For me, it has to be Persona 5. That has one of the grooviest game soundtracks I've ever heard, and it really fits the overall tone of the game. I listen to it at least once a week at work. I can't get enough of it.
Wow, nice.
He also says the soundtrack from any of the Sonic games on Genesis comes a close second because nostalgia. I know that's right. I tell you what, man, I'm so mad that I haven't played Persona 5. Like, as much as I like, you know, because Persona 4 was kind of like Zelda, like slow start, this is taking forever, and then all of a sudden a switch flipped and I loved it and I spent 100 hours in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kevin Miller Jr., a few friends and I play Gloomhaven every other Friday. As of late, I have really fallen in love with the Witcher 3 soundtrack. It just fits our adventuring.
Nice.
I like that. I like you taking a soundtrack from another game and playing it while you play what I'm guessing is a board game with your friends, Gloomhaven.
That's awesome.
That's really cool. On Twitter, Ian Corey Drake at iDrake76. The Witcher 3 soundtrack and DLC soundtracks, so amazing. Do you agree, Tim?
Yeah, I mean they're pretty epic. So yeah, you could pretty much put that to anything.
Nice. I'm gonna take it to the next time I go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Please do.
Just open the door slowly. Turn on the fan. Okay, the wrong at Walk to Mars. It'll be good with my Clash Royale. Last time this question was asked, nobody said Symphony of the Night. I was depressed for 6 months. That's not going to happen again. Castlevania, Symphony in the Night. So I don't know if it's Symphony of the Night or Castlevania Symphony in the Night, but he put
neither
both.
does he.
Yeah, apparently not. He's like, let me not get oopsed. I'm going to put both.
His name is the wrong.
It is the underscore.
Very true.
Wrong. Good job, Ed. Joseph E. Richardson at Metaphysics, but spelled crazy. The music from Mega Man 2 was awesome.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah. All right. Over on Discordia, Matt, the IT guy. I'm so glad he left that. Okay, you probably know this is coming, but the original Halo score is one that you should listen to. Even if you're not a fan of the game, it is an incredible score to listen to while working. A follow-up for me was the Halo 2 soundtrack.
Naturally.
Oh my god!
Of course, as
it wasn't just a follow-up for you; it was a follow-up to Halo. Period.
Yeah,
which is where I found one of my favorite bands, Breaking Benjamin, and their song "Blow Me Away." Oh
nice.
My gosh!
If I had to pick a third,
yeah, I think it'd be
Halo 3.
3, baby.
A little side one, not really quite on the list, would be Halo Wars. That had a good one.
Yeah, exactly. But fourth definitely is Halo 4. All right,
Yeah.
Jared Orr, there are so many great ones. Right now, my top 3 would be Persona 5, Celeste by Lena Raine, and Pyre by Darren Korb. Ed, what say you about the Pyre soundtrack?
you know what? I do like the music in that. It's very Borderlands-ish.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
He says
Yeah,
Darren
I like
Korb
that.
always does amazing work. He also did the soundtrack for Bastion and Transistor. It says one of my other favorites are Next Machina, Doom 2016, Hotline Miami 1 and 2. Hotline Miami did have a great soundtrack.
Next Machina.
Next Machina. Yeah. What is this supposed to say? Okay, so what did I say?
You said something like next Machina or something.
Oh yeah, that sounds about right.
Took me a minute. That was funny.
That's me reading. Crypt of the Necro Dancer, Just Shapes and Beats. That was a good one too. Rocket League. Never heard the music. Bloodborne. Don't remember the music. Axiom Verge, Kingdom Hearts, and Gaelic Z, The Dimensional.
Wow.
He has a lot of them. He pays attention.
Some deep cuts.
Yeah, somebody doesn't have kids and play most of his games on mute.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Like your boy Patillo.
like Patilio.
Vetstone. Chris McCracken said the one that immediately came to my mind when he basically named off every GTA game. But it's GTA Vice City. Classic rock, guns, and drugs. What's not to be liked? I would spend hours driving around Vice City listening to the radio and singing along just like if I was in the car. Hashtag good times. Thank you guys so much for answering our question. That is so much fun. I love hearing the things that you guys love and things like that. You know where to find us. Facebook.com/Married to the Games. Come join the group if you want to, the MTTG community group. It's a good time in there. Twitter.com/MTTGcast. Of course, like Ed said, YouTube.com/Married to the Games. You come to marriedtothegames.com, stop by. We have every podcast listed there. So if you're like, ooh, I want to go find a favorite, which might be a question coming up. So maybe prepare yourself. Not today, but it's coming. You can go check out all 306 episodes there, which is just crazy. And now on Patreon at patreon.com/MTTG. And Tim Router.
Rate us on iTunes so Chris can get his Tesla early. So Gabe can care about Horizon Zero Dawn again.
Yeah.
So Ed can stay up all night playing No Man's Sky until he has to leave for Florida on Sunday. And so Tim can get the Far Cry 5 Platinum without throwing his controller out the window because he has to play multiplayer.
That's
there
right.
You go.
I like it. Good job. Well, let's get into some questions.
I do want to start. We received an email from our boy Jason Garcia.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic email, sir.
Yes.
I cannot thank you enough. It was really amazing. He sent this email. He found us through iHeartRadio. Shout out to iHeartRadio.
Oh.
And just said some really amazing things. I'm just going to quote just one little part of it. He said, quote, "You have put a smile back on my face." Dude, that means the absolute world to me, to us.
Yes,
and we completely appreciate you. And he is now going back where he works. He can listen to podcasts. He's going back and starting at episode 1 and coming all the way through. So I'm thrilled that you're a part of this and with us. And thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. It was a really cool email.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let us start on Discord. Fluxel, as I'm currently in one of my happy places on vacation in Wisconsin, outside of Disney, what is your favorite vacation destination? Not Wisconsin. No offense. I'm sure it's beautiful. I'm sure it's beautiful. No, I'm sure it's great.
I'm sure it's great, but if that was your prize on Wheel of Fortune, you win a trip to Wisconsin.
I'll take the cash total.
That's right.
I'll just lose. That's fine.
You go ahead and win. You go ahead and win, Bob.
I'll take
You're
a
fine.
3.
And a hashtag,
I'd like to buy a semicolon.
Is pie on there? Can I put pie on there?
And any fan that we had in Wisconsin is now gone.
Exactly. Dude,
I was just in Wisconsin hanging out with Lim and Bradley C, and I had a great time.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all good.
Appleton
I've
represent.
never been, but Fluxel
Saskatchewan
tells me it's lovely.
represent.
I will go one day, I promise.
Yeah, you'll drive through it.
Oof. I won't.
Okay, outside of Disney and Wisconsin, what's your favorite vacation destination?
Oh, man. It's a tie for me. Here's what's weird. So I want to say San Diego because it's where we got married and where we spent our first year anniversary. But we haven't been back as a couple since. So I don't know that I actually love San Diego the way I think I do, or if it just holds a bunch of amazing memories for me.
Yeah, exactly.
But we had a blast in Chicago.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you did.
So I'm going to say Chicago because we had a great time. We were there for, 3 days or something? And it was so good. Bruno Mars and just walking around and eating. And, it was great.
That's great.
Chris?
For me, it's probably between San Francisco and Seattle.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I've been to both of them twice, and I would go again to both of them. I don't feel like both of my Seattle trips are relatively short, so I still feel like there's a lot I could do there and check out and see. And then the San Francisco, the last one that we went to when we went there, we actually spent a really good amount of time there and did a lot of different things. It was a lot of fun. So I don't feel like that's another one I'm going to go to anytime soon, but I could see Seattle coming up. And I'll give a little bit of a shout out to Hilton Head. It was actually way cooler than, not that I thought it was going to be lame and anything, but like I know it's a beach vacation, so that's a big thing for Stacy, and I knew it was going to be beautiful, but I had way more fun there than I was expecting, so it definitely helped that we were there with friends and stuff, which definitely added to it. But I was really pretty impressed with that as well.
Nice. Ed?
I'll probably say the LA area. It's got the beaches Sarah loves. It's got Universal that I love.
Malibu?
It's got Malibu too. And so
nice.
SoCal.
There you go. Mine would be Seaside, Florida, because it's the beach and it's easily accessible. I also love me some New York City. And one place I want to go back desperately is London. A little harder to get to, but shoot, man, I loved London. We went in, I think the last time we were there was 2012 or something like that, and I still remember it, and I want to go back.
Yeah, that place is amazing.
Yep. Great question, Adam. Thanks for that. Jared Orr, who is your favorite voice actor? I think mine would have to be Mark Hamill. His Joker is just so good.
Man.
Wow. He does whip up a mean Joker. I'll go first, actually. On more of a history-based, Mel Blanc is probably the pioneer of voice acting.
Yeah, that's good. Right?
That's good.
They called him the man of 1,000 voices, and he was just brilliant. And I grew up listening to Looney Tunes, and just hearing all of the different voices that he did was incredible. I think more modern day, I've got to go with our boy Troy. I think he's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, Mel is really, really hard to beat. That's a great
That's a great answer.
But it's old school, but he really is he was a huge pioneer in voice acting.
Wow.
Shoot, man. That is really tough for me.
Well, then I'll go next. I have a tie for the two. It's Ed and Gabe.
Hey,
I love you.
Look at that.
Dog got it. It made me happy. Happy. What say you, Edward?
Wow, man, I feel bad that I didn't even think of Mel Blanc until you said that, Tim.
I know that's a great one.
That's hard.
Oh man, it's all good. I'm not putting you in a pickle.
I'm gonna go with my first reaction was Nolan North. Just because I love Troy Baker and he's such a good actor, but I can always, for the most part, tell it's Troy.
Yes.
And Nolan has surprised me where even after knowing it's him, just been able to say that's Nolan North. Really?
He's got a really amazing everyman.
He does. And he never sounds like he's doing a voice. I mean, Troy's the same, it just sounds like that's just how that person talks. And that's, he does voices without sounding like it. And
that's a good point, Ed, because you can pick out the Troy Baker in the voice, but with Nolan North, he's definitely thrown us all for a couple loops. We're like, that was Nolan North, really?
Mm-hmm. Well, the fact that he's like gonna be replacing his second person on Destiny is nuts.
Yeah,
right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to have skills to be like, hey, we're gonna give you a talking role as the robot, and then a talking role as the other robot.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
You know, and they just know
that already had an amazing
different.
voice actor.
Right. That it'll sound different enough.
Yeah. And I gotta also give props to Dawes Butler is his name.
Okay.
And he was basically the Mel Blanc of Hanna-Barbera.
Oh, wow. Nice.
He was like Fred Flintstone, Barney Rubble.
Yeah.
Huckleberry Hound, Yogi Bear.
And he probably did like Snagglepuss and all those guys from the Laugh Olympics and all that fun stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
So, good one, man.
I'm gonna go a little different. Only because I've loved him for a long time. And it's not that he does amazing voices, but I just think he's so talented. I would go with Seth MacFarlane.
Yes.
Oh, man. Only because, absolutely.
I was in love with Family Guy.
Amen.
The first 5 seasons that it was out, or however many it was until it got canceled, and then the first couple that it came back. And I just think he's so funny. And I mean, now you can hear it, but like, I didn't necessarily know that Peter, Brian, and Quagmire and Stewie were all the same guy at first.
Yep.
And so, I don't know. And I just think he's really talented. I think he's a funny guy. And
did you ever see him do his Liam Neeson Taken, but as Kermit the Frog?
No, isn't it amazing?
Oh, my gosh.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's hysterical. Yeah. It's really good. Yeah, that's a good one too, man. Well done.
That's a great one.
I'm going to give an honorable mention to Jamie Foxx. Even just because I've seen him nail some people, and you're like, oh man, that was really good. Like the Clippers coach, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but
he did do that one.
Amazing. I was like, oh, that sounds just like that guy.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep. Oh, that's good.
I remember one time Toby told me, he was like, you can tell usually really good singers because they can do people's voices really well.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, great. That means I'm just a subpar singer. I'm terrible at impressions. That's how an artist takes that. Flip it back around.
I know. Exactly. Man, Jamie Foxx can sing too, man.
Oh, man. Jamie Foxx got a great voice. Yeah. And so can Seth, and so can Troy. And I'm sure Nathan Drake. I'm sure Nolan North can sing. You know, I've never heard him. And some of these ladies too, Laura Bailey and some of these girls, I imagine they all have really great singing voices. And if not, they just act like they do, and then that does it too. You know?
There you go.
That's all that matters. Yep.
Good question. I love that question.
That was great. Thanks, Jared. Calm Fury. What's the last online multiplayer game that has delayed the clearing of your backlog? Dang you, Fortnite!
Ooh. H1Z1.
Yeah, even though I don't consider myself having a backlog, that's my answer. That's the game that's definitely taken my attention of late.
You know what? I'm going to change it. Call of Duty.
None for me, thanks.
A crap ton of World War II. Ed?
Yeah, I'm like Chris. I don't really have a backlog, but it's probably Overwatch.
If I did. Baby. I like that.
Nice.
Good question.
Bad Gamer Elite. I'm at camp right now. What was your best and worst day or overnight camp experience?
All of them. I couldn't stand camp.
Do you think he just means camping in general? Because I've never been to a quote camp where you go for a week and it's a thing. I've never done
think he means to say at camp. Yeah.
Okay.
I think he means a camp of some sort, not camping.
Okay. Well, I didn't really
I don't remember going to camp.
I didn't have one that was bad, like the experience itself, but a buddy of mine, after we graduated, we went up to this area, this nature thing up in Oklahoma, and we stayed there for over a weekend or something. And one of the days we went swimming, and he ended up losing the key to the car, and his dad had to drive up to Oklahoma and bring us an extra key. So it really wasn't all that bad for me. I was kind of laughing the whole time, but
it wasn't your dad. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. His dad was not happy.
If I had to pick one, just because I always hated church camp and all, I never liked it. But if I had to pick one instance, there was always a girl that I was in love with at our church.
Yeah.
Me and her would kind of always go back and forth. You know what I'm saying? We were probably never together really, but kind of were. We were at this camp and then weren't at the next camp. Anyway, we're doing just camp things, and she walked in holding hands with somebody else. And I was like, "Yo, wait, what? No, wait till we get home. I'm not going to say anything."
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, that was no good. Edward.
Kumbaya. Oh, wait, what's going
on? Right. Cheating us. But we're not together. How am I cheating if we're not together? Oh, stop with the logic already.
Ed, go for it.
I was a camp counselor for a summer.
Ooh, God bless you.
And one of the
special
weeks
place in heaven for you guys.
That's
right.
Oh
my gosh. It was my summer of free birth control, basically.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what that is.
It was and it was kind of like, this week we're gonna get you guys. We're gonna sneak into your cabin and we're gonna get you. And I was just so paranoid of like pranks and what have you. And I woke up in the middle of the night and someone had snuck in and like had dumped water on people.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And so I woke up and I was like, doggone it. And it was actually, fortunately, it was just the kid in the bunk above me was peeing himself.
Oh.
What?
So it turned out to be much worse than I thought.
Wait. It didn't drip on you or anything.
No, it did. That's why I woke up.
Oh, no.
My first thought was, oh no, they snuck in and they're pouring water on everyone.
Nope.
And I jumped out of bed
just
only
really
to realize,
slowly.
It's
Had peed himself. How old was he?
I don't remember, but I remember thinking to myself, how did it go through the mattress? How much
Are
did
the
you
mattresses
drink?
that thin that like just right through?
Oh,
Oh,
it was horrible.
That's both awesome and gross all at the same time.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, that'll work. All right, moving on. Burnaby Butters.
Wait, Rowdy, did you already have one? Did you already say one?
Oh no, I didn't. I didn't go to camp in the summers typically. I mean, I did VBS and that kind of stuff, but not really like an overnight camp.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I never really had that experience, and I'm fine with that actually.
Yeah.
All right, Burnaby Butters, have you ever had a situation with a friend where you need a favor with the hashtag no questions asked or hashtag run, no time to explain kind of situation? What was it?
No.
No, if we had no questions asked, why would we tell you now?
No, I've never had
I killed
that
a guy.
before.
Can you cover for me?
Right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had. I don't know. Yeah. No, I've
man,
never had
I could-
anything even kind of like.
I don't think I could
don't
ever
think
do
so.
that with any friend. I couldn't put that pressure or anything on them.
Man, I could totally do it. I've not had it though.
Yeah, go Chris.
Yeah, I could put it on somebody. I ain't worried about-
yeah.
I got some ride or dies that I ain't scared of. Like,
Yeah,
Nice.
I could put it on someone, and I would be okay with someone putting it on me, but I've never had it either.
Yeah, I haven't had either one.
Yeah, I haven't.
I haven't had like the, hey, dude, seriously, like I need $500. Don't ask about it. Just I need $500. Like
Right.
nobody's
Yeah.
ever come to me and done that before.
Yeah.
Sounds exciting though.
Yeah,
I know,
it does.
We sound boring.
Yeah, right.
I know, right?
Well, yeah, okay. Spam humbug. As I'm headed to a county fair tomorrow, what's y'all's favorite Midway foods? Mine is the mini donuts. Ooh.
What's a midway food?
Yeah, is that like mean fair?
Fair food, I guess.
I guess he meant fair food, maybe, yeah.
What's the thing with the powdered sugar on top?
Funnel cake.
Funnel cake. Oh lord.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna
yeah.
go with
Come on,
funnel
man.
cake only because I don't really go to fairs, and that's the
Me
only thing
either.
I know is there.
But I'll get a funnel cake.
Yeah.
Yep.
Funnel cake is good.
I'd do a mini donut or a funnel cake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the
None of
local
this
fair
deep
here.
fried butter or deep fried Twinkie. I don't do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Nah, man.
I can't do that.
I wouldn't do the deep fried butter, but I would do the fried Twinkie or a fried Oreo. I would give that a shot.
I mean, I would try it probably, because I love Twinkies, but still.
Ed, do you have one?
Yeah, the fair here has some really good. There's a stand that does really good sugar donuts. We always
Oh,
get those.
yeah.
Ooh,
Now
a
we're talking.
sugar donut.
Mm-hmm.
The old-fashioned
Donuts
one?
had sugar on them already, but I learn something new every day. All right.
They're not trying to hide it in this case.
Nope.
Okay, gotcha.
It's out in the open.
Called the diabetes donut.
That's right.
That old
Diabetes.
DD.
Diabetes.
Diabetes donut.
Don't it feel like you got diabetes now?
Nice.
We got the what's his name? Wilford Brimley
Yep.
donut. Diabetes donut. All right. Facebook, Kenny Riot. Is there a genre of games that you wished you were more into, but for some reason it just didn't grab you?
Ooh. Yeah. I wish I liked Western RPGs the way I like JRPGs.
Hmm.
Mm.
It's not that they haven't grabbed me because I did play Mass Effect and stuff like that, but like Skyrim and some of these other games, World of Warcraft, I guess that could be semi-considered, even though it's kind of like a MMO. But I wish I liked Westerns the way I like Japanese RPGs.
I'm going to do the opposite, and I wish I liked JRPGs.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know that I just wish I could get into or have some kind of interest in turn-based combat, because I feel like there's so many games out there that people love that is a turn-based combat game, and I just I cannot wrap my head around the point. It's like, why am I going to let them hit me? I don't understand that concept. It's like, I mean, I get it in a way, but it's like, I like live action, like move around and fight so much better. It just makes more sense to my head.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to unhinge your brain a little bit more to play a JRPG.
I mean, I feel like I'll get there at some point, but
you don't have to.
Just, man. Well, I want to, though, because there's so many stories that tied to games that play that way that people just love so much. It's like, man, I feel like I should give this a shot.
True. What say you, Edward?
I wish I liked the Battle Royale games.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
That makes sense.
What would Bloodborne be considered? Is it a fight game?
It's more like it's kind of in the Souls universe, like more specifically because it's actually made by the same developer.
It's more like a hack and slash game.
Yeah. I wish I have it. I downloaded Bloodborne when it was free, and there's just something in the back of my mind saying, "Man, you got to try it. Just go try it." So I think I'd want to do those kind of games.
Yeah, I think that's a super difficult hack and slash is what I would.
Yeah. I think it'd be challenging, and then 5 minutes later I'll be done with it.
I did not enjoy my time in Bloodborne.
That's right. I remember you said that.
My time in Bloodborne, though I'd never finished it. But what I played, I really enjoyed. Never played a Souls game. That's the only one I played.
I think you would feel very accomplished moving from level to boss, level to level. I think it would be because it's so, it's so intense that I think it would leave you with a very satisfying feeling.
And I totally took like shot in the dark on that game because I never played any of the Dark Souls games or Demon Souls and didn't have any interest from the outside looking in. But something about Bloodborne's art style is like, man, it looks cool. It's like, I'm just going to give it a shot. And I was really surprised and happily surprised at how much I kind of took to it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Everybody go?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think so.
Okay, Matthew Serta, referring to the dreams question last week, the loose or missing teeth dream has absolutely happened to me.
Oh, wow.
He said, all right, now on to the question. Congratulations, you've won a contest to create the next non-humanoid hero in Overwatch. What is the hero and what is their primary weapon skill?
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Non-humanoid hero.
Oh, jeez. I'm so bad at this. This is why I don't work at Blizzard.
I know, right?
That's the only reason.
Wow.
Let's see. I'm going to go with a
non-humanoid.
I'm going to go with something kind of like shoot. No, that's not good. Ooh, that's a tough one. Edwards, what's coming to your brain right away? I fixed myself.
It's like an espresso machine.
Here we go.
So it's a healer of sorts.
Yes, of course.
And he runs around and
an energizer.
Yeah, it gives you coffee and gets you energized. But and then his alt is it gives the other team the coffee poops.
Well done. No. Well done. Oh, I like that.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. That's funny. Router, since you've never played Overwatch.
I don't know. I'm thinking they just did a what's his name? The new guy?
The hamster?
The hamster. So I'm going to go with like a skunk and some sort of a smell, like a really bad smell.
I like that. It got that gas going.
Yeah,
right?
and I don't know what the alt would be though.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
everyone's vision gets blurry.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I like that. That's good.
Chris?
It's an alien that looks similarly shaped to like an octopus, but turns into a spaceship and flies around and shoots rockets.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
That sounds scary.
Yeah, I know. I was remembering that cartoon where the guy turns into the car. I was like, oh, but it can't be humanoid. an octopus alien.
Exactly. I'm going to do a big robot that is made up of all kitchen appliances.
Oh, nice.
So it can shoot toast at you.
Old toaster face.
Yeah,
good old Kitchatron.
Yeah, old toaster forehead.
Toaster head.
And, its stomach is an oven, and it can, throw out hot pies and burn your tongue and stuff.
I like that. The appliance.
Mm-hmm.
The
appliance man.
I love
appliance
man. No, I love it.
Appliance Benson. Yeah.
Berg. All right. Darius Stewart, what's one of the most difficult games that you have beaten? One of my most difficult accomplishments was beating Super Ghouls and Ghosts. It took me over 7 straight hours to beat it twice for the true ending. I vowed to never play that game again after that old school frustration.
I'm gonna probably say Guacamelee was probably the most you had to kind of get after it pretty good at some points. But other than that, I feel like I'm a good enough gamer to where I haven't come up against something that I thought was really hard besides Bloodborne, and there was no way I was beating that game.
Yeah, I don't feel typically if a game's that hard, I lose interest and I walk away, and I'm not gonna be like, I'm sticking with this. I want to say Guacamelee as well, but I actually never faced the final boss. I got to it where it was unlocked, and I was like, oh well, I want to get a little bit better at these combos because there was a trophy where you have to use every combo on the final boss. I was like, I need to get a few more of these down, and I never went back. And it's like, if I were to do it now, I was like, I don't remember anything.
Yeah,
there's no way.
Me neither.
So I never actually fought the final boss.
You know what? I would say too, honorable mention to maybe I've beaten all the Hitman games. And except this newest one.
Yeah.
But all the other ones I've beaten, and those can get pretty daunting when it just comes to sneaking around. And I like to do it that way. I don't like going out guns blazing after every mission, which you can do as well, as Ed's talked about. So yeah, honorable mention to that one. What say you, Edward?
Probably Alien Isolation.
Oh, you beat that game?
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Nice.
Good job.
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah.
But,
I only remember watching one part over and over and over and over again.
Yep.
Where you got really scared. And I probably watched it 20 times. Oh my gosh, it was so good.
That's right.
What the butt? What the butt?
What the what? Yeah.
Tim?
Didn't you go hide in a closet or something?
I probably did.
Yeah. I'm kind of with you. I would probably stop playing it if it got too tricky and I got too frustrated. So I haven't really beaten a really difficult game.
What about Dead Space? Didn't you say that was hard?
Yeah, I mean, Dead Space, I did beat it, and I think Dead Space 2 was probably the most difficult for me, but I mean, I still beat it. So yeah, well, I can say Dead Space 2. Man, I miss those games. Something came up on YouTube the other day about there was talk before Visceral went away of a Dead Space 4 and how they would continue the story. And I went back and went down this rabbit hole of going back through the whole series. I'm like, shoot, I should play those again. Those are so good. It was a really good and it was a very surprising, successful horror game too, and it was awesome. I miss it.
That's awesome.
We got everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Good,
yeah,
right?
I think so.
Kevin Miller Jr. So I have told you guys before that my wife is preggo. This past weekend, my son, wife, and I got to find out what we're having.
Uh-oh.
It's a girl.
Hey, one of each, baby.
I'm super excited, but also terrified. Some stories on raising a daughter. Maybe some hints or tricks to help a brother out. When I had my son, I felt like I got this, but a daughter, I feel like I should have this. Dude, no, don't even worry about it. I love being a dad to a daughter. It is great. I think you're going to find there's lots of differences between the development of her versus development of of your son.
Yeah,
a lot of differences.
I just think, you're gonna love it, man. And I would know. You are gonna love that little thing, and she will have you wrapped around your finger.
Yeah. Golly, I can only speak from my stance, so I'm not saying this is girls, so nobody get offended, internet. But just prepare to listen, because my daughter likes to talk a lot. She talks way more than Remy talks, and Remy talks a lot. And I mean, this girl, just get ready. Maybe your daughter's not like that.
Yep.
But my daughter is like that, and that's the way it is.
I'm not going to say Amara doesn't talk a lot, because that would be a lie.
Right.
But what I will say is that I always enjoy talking with Amara. The few times I've had the opportunity, it's a lot of fun.
Yes, and
granted, I'm not doing it every day for 24/7. But
exactly.
When you hear her voice, you just want to let her keep talking. Mm-hmm. It's very cute.
And we got lucky that her voice is deeper than a lot of children's voices, and I didn't know that, but. It's not like
it's true.
Not like listening to Morse code all day. And
Dad, give me my doll. You want to hear about my dolly's new hair bow?
Exactly. And so she's got like a raspy quality to her voice, which keeps it from like just like cutting through your ear. Like I have some family members that's voice like just feels like it's sharp all the time. You're like, I just want to tune your voice to on the note.
Tune that
but
junk
it's
up.
like they just talk like right here, and you're like, oh man. Like, does anybody else feel like their brain is getting drilled? No, just mine.
Ears bleeding anywhere?
Yeah. So I would just say, get ready to play a little one-on-one defense. Now there's two of them. There's two of y'all. And play to each other's strengths. If it's a girl thing, then hopefully your wife can handle it. If it's a boy thing, you'll handle it. If it's a boy thing that needs to be talked to a girl about, then you can handle it. It'll be great.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's going to be awesome. Don't you worry. Don't fret. Just take it a day at a time.
Don't you worry about a thing, baby.
All right. Brian Nebel, your name has been made into a candle scent. What does it smell like?
Afterbirth?
Oh my gosh, Edward.
What is wrong with you?
Why did coffee not just come out right away? Oh,
I know. Lord. I was just going to say Ed Coffee.
Goodness.
Yeah.
But it's my name.
Oh, Placencia.
Yeah, you know. I guess so.
Lord.
He's the smartest man in the room, and we all just figured it out.
Yeah. He takes this literally.
Yeah.
Your name has been made into a candle scent. What does it smell like?
Chris, what does yours smell like?
Smells like
following Ed's lead, I'm afraid to say what mine smells like.
Your last name is McCracken.
That's true. It is. Maybe I can say beer, and I can spin it to be because I'm cracking open those beers.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do with
what do you do with router? It smells like
bad internet.
Bad internet, exactly. Smells like AOL or something.
smells like
regret.
Like net zero. Yep.
Net zero, exactly. Yeah. No, mine will be like a burnt wire or like some sort of like electronic burning.
Let's
do that one. Afterbirth.
I'm gonna say mine, Patillo. Mine smells like a restaurant that you think is Mexican, but it's not.
Ooh.
Because everybody who meets me always says patillo.
Patillo.
Yeah.
They want to prove to you that they're culturally sensitive.
Exactly. They're like, patillo, party of four. I'm like, it's Patillo, number one. So I'm going to say a restaurant that you...
And gracias.
Yeah.
Wrong, party of one.
The _ wrong, party of one.
The underscore
party of
wrong.
you.
I like it.
That's good.
That's funny.
All right, moving on to Twitter. We got three more. Josh Stapleton, Street Team. What has been your experiences playing game genres you don't normally play? Oh, we're getting another game genre one. Have you been surprised and found yourself enjoying them, or nah, man, they suck? I'm playing Octopath Traveler. I historically dislike turn-based RPGs, but I'm enjoying it so far.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, people say Octopath Traveler is a great game on the Switch.
Yeah.
I don't usually dive into, like, if I don't think I like a game genre, I don't usually play it. So
yeah.
But I did like Mass Effect more than I thought I would. Enough to play 2 and 3 and 4. No, I didn't play 4. Was there a 4? Or was it just the latest one and Andromeda.
Andromeda was essentially
there was 1, 2, 3, and Andromeda,
and Andromeda. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I will say I did not like Clash Royale at the start.
Oh, really?
Nor did I like Hearthstone at the start either. But I kind of broke through and kind of dug in a little bit more, and now those are my games.
There you go.
Nice.
Edward, you've tried a lot of things.
What is it? A genre you don't like to play?
What has been your experiences playing game genres you don't normally play? Have you been surprised and found yourself enjoying them, or do they suck?
Yeah, I guess I've been like, I don't really think of myself as a turn-based game player, but I really liked South Park. I enjoyed Persona 5, but I haven't gone out of my way to intentionally, I want to play a turn-based game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm kind of like Gabe. I kind of just, if I don't like the genre, I usually stay away from it.
Yeah. Very true.
Chris?
The only one that I can think of is Bloodborne. That's a genre of game that I never really thought I would ever give a shot. And then when it came out, I was like, all right, well, I'll give this style of game a try, and ended up really liking it. Not enough to go try to pick up Dark Souls and try that one, but I liked, if they came out with a Bloodborne 2, I would buy it.
There you go.
Would you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It gave you just enough to be like, you know what, that's great. I don't need any more or less. I'm good.
Day one, buy it?
I mean, it depends. If it came out around a lot of other games, then I could wait a little bit. But yeah, if it came out like I say in not February of this coming year, because that's going to be ridiculous.
No, but not. Yeah.
But let's say like if it came out in March and there was
going.
the one big game coming out that time, then yeah, I'd grab it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice. Aaron Bonner, since it's still super hot out, what's your favorite snow cone flavor?
You know, it's funny. Me and my wife just talked about this. I don't like snow cones.
Really?
No.
What?
Nah.
Why not? Get against the snow cone.
Because they feel like
they're not because they're not shaved down enough. Because some of them have the really, really shaved ice, which is really nice.
And that's what Jenny was saying. She was saying she just went somewhere where they had like super shaved ice, where it was like almost like fluffy snow, and she said she loved it. I've always eaten like the diamonds in a cup with like some
that are hard as a rock.
Glass almost.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, who got time for this?
Like a Snoopy snow cone all of a sudden.
What are we, Sierra Leone?
Yeah. Sierra Leone. Hashtag blood diamonds.
Hashtag blood diamonds. What say you, Ed?
The flavors never taste what they say they're going to taste like.
Yeah.
So I'll just say red.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm the same. It's not really about the flavor name because it's not going to match, but I always go with blue. I like blue.
Nice.
Router?
I'm kind of with Jenny on this. I like the really shaved ice one. I had one back at Eat the Street where there was a truck that had them.
Eat the Street?
We had a bunch of food trucks come out.
Yeah, a bunch of food trucks
they call
come out
the snow
downtown
cone
Franklin.
Eat the Street.
Yeah, you've not seen American History X? Kind of like that.
Exactly.
Oh,
and I like the rainbow one, so it's all of them because it was.
And that's what Jenny had. Was that
delicious? Yeah,
was that food?
It's probably
truck.
the same truck.
Yeah, I will say this. I do love a slushy and icy though, and I usually get the Coca-Cola.
I haven't had one of those in forever.
Brother, you got me hooked on the Coca-Cola ones when we went and saw Avengers.
So
that is all I get now when I go to the theaters, and man, it's so delicious.
Yes.
Woo. I don't even need popcorn anymore. Just give me a Coca-Cola icy and I'm good.
Let's go.
I love that. Speaking of wrong, _wrong. You are at a pie eating contest against each other. What flavor pie would you select for your co-host to give yourself the advantage? Only one rule must be a real type of pie. No unicorn meat.
Oh. Chris is getting anything heated with apple or cherry.
Exactly. This one's an easy one for me to lose on.
Yeah, that's easy. Yep. Chris is out. He's the first one out.
I'll fold in my napkin. I'm out. I lose.
I would give Ed an actual pie. I was gonna say a meatloaf pie.
Meatloaf, a shark pie.
I mean, you can make the pie up. I mean, as long as it's something that could actually exist. I'm fine with that.
Must be a real type of pie.
Oh, well.
I don't know.
It could be real if you make it.
I'm going banana cream pie for all of you.
Yeah, there you go.
That's because you got the whipped cream and the bananas, and some people love bananas, some people don't love bananas, but you just got custard and all that stuff. So it's just a hot mess.
That's
so
a good answer.
That's a good answer. Yeah.
I've never had that. I might give that a try sometime.
It is delicious.
I like banana and I like custard.
Yeah, I do too.
Mm-hmm.
Who else?
I'm going with your answer. I like that answer.
All right, cool, good.
I'm going prune pie because I think that's a
prune.
Oh my
prune
God.
Y'all get prune pies.
There better be a porta potty nearby.
That is disgusting.
Oh, that's awesome. That's it for the questions. Thank you, everybody. As always, we completely appreciate it.
Woo.
Good ones this week too. Really enjoyed them.
Yeah, those were good.
This is kind of a weird question.
Uh-oh.
And so I almost didn't ask it, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to ask it anyway. What do you miss the most from old school gaming? For some reason, I miss continue with the countdown. Like, and you have to like try to get your quarter in there and press start before you know the timer went down. I miss the continue ? Timer countdown.
Oh, nice.
I feel like we just don't have that anymore. Ed, do you miss anything from old school gaming?
I miss putting your quarter up there
on
to indicate
glass.
Oh,
yes. I got next, Bishop.
I got next.
Back up off my Mortal Kombat 2.
I believe I'm jousting next.
Hey, exactly. There you go. I miss one joystick, one button. That's it.
Oh, yeah. It's got a bit complicated, hasn't it?
Yep. Just a little.
What say you, Christopher?
I think the only thing that I miss, and it's not 100% because it does still exist in some form or fashion, but I feel like I have to go with couch co-op, just being able to play the game together.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. Makes sense. Let us know, what do you miss from old school gaming, and we will read them aloud next week. Episode 306 in the books. I can't believe it. I'm your boy, Gabe Patillo. That is Tim Router. That is Ed Placencia. That is Chris McCracken. And we are married to the games, and we're up out this thing. Bang!